Live on a Friday night at Utah Grizzlies hockey, as it's the second of three straight meetings between the Grizzlies and the Idaho Steelheads. Hi, everybody. I'm Tyson Whiting. It's the 17th of 18 meetings this season between the Grizzlies and the Steelheads. Utah is 4-11-1 against Idaho this year, but they've had some success over at Idaho Central Arena as they picked up a key standing point on Wednesday as Luke Martin tied the game with 1:10 left in regulation. Utah tied it up at 2, but then Idaho scored 20 seconds into overtime as Ty Pelton-Bice found the back of the net as he gets his 19th goal of the season. And the Steelheads took a 3-2 victory, but the Grizzlies did come away with a key standing point. It should be interesting here tonight to see what will happen in the second of three straight meetings. Now, don't forget the scene will shift to Maverik Center for a Saturday night battle, and that should be a lot of fun. Get your tickets at UtahGrizzlies.com. As for tonight, the Grizzlies made another roster addition as they picked up a forward. We'll talk about that later on in the pregame show. We got a good goaltending matchup tonight as Trent Miner gets the start for Utah. He'll be going up against Adam Scheel, who's got a record of 26-7 this season. Scheel has 5 shutouts and a .930 save percentage. So it should be a lot of fun. The Grizzlies and the Steelheads, there's been quite a few roster movement for the Grizzlies here over the last week. A few roster changes, one addition who's going to be making his pro debut tonight. And we'll tell you about him, and we'll talk with Guy Chiarenza and get his thoughts on tonight's game as we're in business on a Friday night. It's the Grizzlies and the Steelheads, and we're hanging out in the lobby at Maverik Center, and it should be a fun one. And we'll come back and talk with Guy and tell you about the newest Grizzly when we come back in 2 minutes on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverik, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Maverik's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Welcome back to Utah Grizzlies Hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting here with Guy Chiarenza. Earlier this week, the Grizzlies picked up defenseman Luke Martin as he was reassigned to the Grizzlies from the AHL's Colorado Eagles. And making their professional debuts on Wednesday night was Mick Messner and Kyle Mayhew. Due to scoring changes, the assists that Mayhew and Messner picked up on the Martell first-period goal were changed, and Keaton Jamison ended up getting the assist on the Martell goal. That means Jamison has a point in 7 straight games. I'm really looking forward to Saturday night watching Kyle Mayhew and Mick Messner in person. And the Grizzlies made one signing earlier today as Nolan Ritchie is going to be in the Grizzlies lineup tonight. Ritchie, 5'10", 181 pounds. He had played with the Brandon Wheat Kings of the WHL the last 4 full seasons. Ritchie was a captain for the Wheat Kings this season, and he had an outstanding year, 70 points in 67 games. And Guy and I are certainly looking forward to watching him play. He'll wear number 61 for the Grizzlies tonight, and he'll be on a forward line with Cameron Wright and Jordan Martell, and guy I'm really looking forward to seeing what Nolan Ritchie's able to add to the Grizzlies lineup.
I'm so excited to watch him play, Tyson. I mean, you think about these guys and coming into the Grizzlies team, and obviously, WHL is different than the ECHL, but I don't think there's any question this guy can play 70 points in 67 games. He's doing something right, and so that's a big addition to this Grizzlies lineup, and I'm looking forward to see what he can do.
It was interesting to see the start of overtime. The Grizzlies actually went with Kyle Mayhew as the one defenseman out there for the 3-on-3 overtime session, and considering that Mayhew started overtime, I think says a lot about what Ryan Kanasowicz thinks about the young defenseman.
Well, looks like Kanasowicz had the same feelings about Mayhew as we did from watching Wednesday night's game. I thought he looked very calm, very composed. He handled the puck, and he has a lot of speed, and he made smart decisions with the puck. So I think Kyle Mayhew's been a good addition to this team. Now it's just one game. We'll see if he can improve on that, but I like everything what I've seen so far.
Trent Miner will get the start in net for the Grizzlies, and he really kept Utah in the game. On Wednesday night, he stopped 26 of 29. And you talk about a guy that when he's got his A game, he can be pretty tough to beat. Miner in the past, last year, and at times this season has had some success against the Steelheads.
Well, Trent Miner was great on Wednesday night. I really think that he did not deserve that loss. I mean, the Grizzlies as a whole didn't really deserve that loss. Felt like they outplayed the Steelheads for about 2/3 of that game. But Miner kept the Grizzlies in. He made some really fantastic saves and really gave the Grizzlies a chance to win, and ultimately just fell a little too short. But Trent Miner's been great all season long, and he was great again on Wednesday.
Luke Martin made his Grizzlies debut, at least his second stint with the Grizzlies, made his debut on Wednesday night. He was an ECHL All-Star with Jacksonville, and dating back to his time with Jacksonville, as a goal in 4 straight ECHL games. He scored that big goal from the high slot with 1:10 left in regulation. And both teams only had 1 power play on Wednesday, but I do think if the Grizzlies get some more power play opportunities tonight, I think Luke Martin could be a big addition to that group.
Yeah, you think about Luke Martin with just his ability with using his shot. I mean, we saw it towards the end of Wednesday night's game where he tied the game up for the Grizzlies. You add that to the power play, which already seemed to be kind of built around a guy with a powerful shot with Nielsen before he left the Grizzlies. You add Luke Martin there. I think you take that place of where Nielsen was on the power play. I think you could have something special with that unit. Hopefully we see it on the ice a little bit more in tonight's game, but I think there's something to be said about that. And I think the Grizzlies power play should wake up soon if Martin's on it.
With Keaton Jamison picking up an assist, they made a scoring change on Utah's first goal on Wednesday. Instead of it being Mayhew and Messner getting their first pro points, it was changed to Keaton Jamison as it was determined that Idaho had touched the puck in the slot for long enough to change possession. But for Keaton Jamison, that means he now has a point in 7 straight games, and he's been outstanding. And how about the Rooster, who's got a goal in 5 straight games? Those 2 forwards have really done a great job stepping up in the absence of 4 key forwards in Cam Strong, Dakota Raby, Johnny Walker, and Zach Sekos.
I'm really impressed with the way Keaton Jamison has stepped up over these last few games, especially with all the injuries. I mean, we talked about it when people went down, the Grizzlies needed somebody to step up. Looks like Jamison has been that guy, and the Rooster. I mean, these are 2 guys that are red hot, and they're the reason why the Grizzlies are still in the mix in the Mountain Division playoff race. I think if these 2 guys don't step up for the Grizzlies, I'm not so sure they're in the thick of it. So hats off to those 2. They're playing fantastic.
Who's your pick for the Optum first goal of the game? Optum, the first goal of the game. It's been Jordan Martell a couple times. Aaron Tho's gotten that a few times here as of late. Who's your pick for the Optum first goal of the game?
Well, I think it really could be anybody in this Grizzlies lineup, but I'm going to go with the former Victoria Royal. I think I'm going to go with Taryn Pfizer here tonight. I like the way he was playing on Wednesday. I thought he really should have had a goal on Wednesday with the way he was playing, just couldn't find a way to put it in the back of the net. But I think it's going to be Taryn Pfizer. You got to give Brandon Cutler an assist. And we'll go with Shearer for the secondary assist.
I think Kyle Mayhew, the former University of Denver product, finds his former college teammate hanging out the right side. Cameron Wright skates towards the right circle and takes a righty shot that goes over the left shoulder of Adam Scheel. And I think Cameron Wright is going to be the Optum first goal of the game. And with that, Wright would tie Taryn Pfizer for the club lead as Pfizer leads Utah with 25 goals. Cameron Wright has 24 goals this season, so that's my pick for the Optum first goal of the game. And remember, everybody make your pick for the Optum first goal of the game, as Optum is committed to making healthcare work better, leading the way to better experiences, better health, and lower costs for you. So it'll be big if the Grizzlies can get off to a fast start. Utah did score first on Wednesday. I think, if the Grizzlies have a lead after 1 period, they can be lethal. But, as we've Mentioned before, this Idaho team is battling for some league records. They've already set the record for the most home wins this season, but the Grizzlies are 3-5-1 over at Idaho Central Arena. So should be a fun test for the Grizzlies here tonight and tomorrow at Maverik Center.
I agree, Tyson, and I don't think this win is going to come easy for the Grizzlies. I mean, just thinking about the way the Steelheads play and how good they've been this season, there's that in hand, but also it's a big rivalry game, and I think that atmosphere of a rivalry game makes it a little different. The Grizzlies have proven that over the last few times they played the Steelheads, they can go toe-to-toe with one of the best teams in the league. So if I'm the Grizzlies, I'm not scared of the Steelheads here tonight. I think the Grizzlies had a great performance on Wednesday. If they're able to build upon that and carry that momentum here into tonight's game, I like their chances of coming out with 2 points.
Should be a lot of fun. The Grizzlies and the Steelheads, looks like before the game, Idaho, as they do every single year, is going to have their year-end ceremonies. They're going to have their awards show. So face-off might be delayed for a couple minutes. That's what they do every single season. And it seems like the Grizzlies are in Idaho every single year at the end of the regular season to see the award show. And this year will be no different in Idaho. It's got to be a tough task to figure out who the team MVP is for a club that is 40 games over 500. They've got 111 standings points and a record of 54, 10, 1, and 2 this season. It'll be interesting to see if the Grizzlies can get some goals on Adam Schill. He's been pretty tough, but I got to imagine for the Grizzlies, despite losing the forwards that they have some guys that can step up and put the puck in the back of the net.
Well, that seems to be the theme of the season, Tyson, is just the Grizzlies have had guys that has just found a way to step up, and when their name is called, prove their worth. And so you think about guys like Keaton Jameson, Jordan Martell, Dylan Fitz has been really good over the last couple of games. Cameron Wright all season long seems to just be burying game winners. So, I mean, you look up and down this lineup, the Grizzlies have the guys. The question is can you find a way to get past one of the best teams in the league and have those guys prove themselves against a team like Idaho?
When we come back, we'll give you the starting lineups for both teams. It's the Grizzlies and the Steelheads meeting for the second of 3 straight meetings between the clubs. 17th season meeting between Utah and Idaho. And we'll give you the lineups when we come back in 1 minute on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverik's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverik, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account.
Welcome back to Utah Grizzlies Hockey. I'm Tyson Whiting, hanging out at the lobby at Maverik Center with Guy Chiarenza as we got an outstanding night of hockey in store for the Grizzlies. They take on a team with the best record in the league. Let's get to the lineups for both teams. First, for the visiting Utah Grizzlies, it's their 36th and final road game of the regular season. They're led by second-year head coach Ryan Kanasowicz. His assistant is the Sandy, Utah native Jared Pike. The Grizzlies have a record of 32, 31, and 4 this season. Starting in net's going to be Trent Miner, who's making his 34th appearance this season. Miner's got a record of 14, 14, and 3 with 2 shutouts. He has a 3.23 goals against average and a 904 save percentage. Miner stopped 26 of 29 in Wednesday night's game as the Grizzlies got a standing point, losing 3-2. The backup goaltender tonight is Garrett Metcalf, and Lucas Preek is the third goalie. Preek is not in the building at Idaho Central Arena. In fact, I saw him earlier today hanging out at Maverik Center. So Miner's going to start in net with Metcalf backing up. The starting defensive pairing, the former Steelhead Corey Thomas is in there making his 37th appearance. Thomas has 7 assists in 36 games. He's also got 31 penalty minutes. And his size can certainly play a big factor as he's 6'5" and 215 pounds. He'll be lined up next to the captain, Connor McDonald, who's tied for the club lead with a +10 rating, as Jordan Martell, the Rooster, has a +10 rating in a Grizzlies uniform. McDonald in 61 games has 5 goals and 12 assists. He is 6'1" and 181 pounds. The other defensemen we're expected to see tonight include Luke Martin, who's got 26 points in 26 ECHL games. It's his second game and his second stint in a Grizzlies uniform. Last year, Luke Martin was part of the best defensive pairing in the league with Charles-Edouard Nastu. Martin goes 6'3" and 215 pounds. It's his second full season as a pro out of the University of Michigan. James Shearer will be in there. Shearer played for the Brandon Wheat Kings in his junior hockey days. He was not a teammate of the newest Grizzly, Nolan Ritchie, as Shearer's last season with Brandon was the 2017-2018 season, where Shearer acted as team captain. He'll be wearing number 10. He's 5'9" and 185 pounds. Aaron Tho was outstanding against Wichita, and if Aaron Tho just visualizes facing the Wichita Thunder tonight, he'll be just fine, as he was a +10 in 5 games against Wichita this season. In 62 games with 3 different clubs, though, has 8 goals and 14 assists and a +3 rating. He'll be lined up next to Kyle Mayhew, who's making his second professional appearance. Mayhew made his pro debut on Wednesday night. He is 5'8" and 160 pounds. He won a national championship with the University of Denver back in 2022, which was last season. He just completed a 5-year college career at the University of Denver. He was a college teammate with Cameron Wright for that 2022 national championship team. So starting defensive pairing once again is Thomas and McDonald. We'll also see Shearer, Luke Martin, along with Aaron Tho and Kyle Mayhew. The defensemen who are scratches tonight include Bryson Martin wearing number 14, no relation to Luke Martin. They're just on the same hockey team. Jacob Semick, the ASU product, is also a scratch, as is Victor Bartley. That's the 3 defensemen who are out of the Grizzlies lineup this evening. Let's get to the forwards. The starting forwards, Keaton Jamison, who picked up an assist on Wednesday. It was a late addition to a scoring change, and he got the assist on Martell's first period goal. So Keaton Jamison now is at a point in 7 straight games. In fact, he has 3 goals and 7 assists in his last 7 games. Jamison in 34 has 34 points, or make that 35 points with that assist being added in 66 games. Jamison 14 goals and 21 assists this season. He'll be paired up next to Dylan Fitz, who's got 16 goals and 20 assists in 67 games. Fitz was outstanding in the latter portion of March, in particular last week against Wichita, where he had 6 points in 3 games. And Mick Messner, 5'11", 193 pounds. He played at Merrimack College the last 3 years. Before that, spent 2 years at the University of Wisconsin. Messner will wear number 25 for the Grizzlies. And so the starting forwards are Jamison, Fitz, and Messner, Messner. The other forwards we're expected to see tonight include Nolan Ritchie, who's making his professional debut. 5'10", 181 pounds, played for the Brandon Wheat Kings for the last 5 seasons. And he was an outstanding player for Brandon the last 2 years. In particular, this season had 70 points in 67 games. He'll be lined up next to Cameron Wright, the rookie who's been outstanding. He's a candidate for the all-rookie team. He has 56 points in 59 games, 24 goals and 32 assists. And the Rooster, Jordan Martell. And I don't know if there's any Grizzly as hot as Jordan Martell, and that may include Keaton Jamison, as Martell's got a goal in 5 straight games. We'll also see the Victoria Royals connection. Speaking of the WHL, Brandon Cutler and Taryn Pfizer, they'll be out there, as well as the Colgate products. Tyler Penner, that's right, Penner is in the Grizzlies lineup once again. The Iron Man, what is it for him now? I mean, for Tyler Penner, he's appearing in his 140th consecutive regular season game. If you count last year's playoffs, it's 158 straight games for Tyler Penner. So Cutler, Penner, and Pfizer will be a forward line tonight, as is Ritchie, Wright, and Martell. We also see Christian Simeone, the Merrimack product, who was a college teammate for 1 season with Mick Messmer, and Kyle Pouncey will be acting as a forward this evening. Pouncey wearing number 23. So the scratches for the forwards tonight are Johnny Walker, along with Zach Sekos, Jared Power, Dakota Raby, and Cam Strong. I think Power, for what we know, is a healthy scratch. The other forwards are injured and most likely out for the season. Well, they got the award show going on in Idaho. Looked like Ryan Domowski picked up an award, might be the team MVP. I don't know. There's a lot of guys you can call as a team MVP in Idaho, as they've had an outstanding regular season. But with 5 games left in the regular year, feels like over the next 2 games, even though Utah does have Tulsa, 3 games at Maverik Center next week, it feels like Utah's got to get something out of these next 2 games here against Idaho.
I agree, Tyson. I mean, the Oilers are a team that the Grizzlies should beat, but you never want to go into a series saying, "Oh, well, we'll just win those." No, you gotta you got to take every game at face value. And I think for the most part over the last few games, the Grizzlies have done a really good job of doing that. So if they go into Idaho Central Arena tonight and they play like they did on Wednesday, I think there's a really strong chance that the Grizzlies come away with 2 standings points. And that would be the best case scenario. And then the Grizzlies would head over to Maverik Center tomorrow with another crack at it with the Steelheads. So I like the way the Grizzlies are playing, and I think the future is looking bright for the Grizzlies.
They got the award show continuing to go on over in Idaho. Last season, the Grizzlies sat through Idaho's award show, and then the week after, the Steelheads came in the final regular season game. The Grizzlies had their own award show, and the Grizzlies award show seemed to go just about as long as Idaho's did. I think there was a little gamesmanship going on there. Adam Schill won the award for the 3 stars. He's going to be tough in net tonight. He's got a 2.02 goals against average and .930 save percentage for the season. And so this Idaho Steelheads team's tough to beat, but the Grizzlies have proven that they can win at Idaho Central Arena. And Wednesday, after Idaho outshot Utah by a good margin in the first period, the Grizzlies really controlled action in both the second and third periods. And so it feels like the Grizzlies, they need to be aggressive, but they need to be smart about it. Kind of a combination of being aggressive, yet being patient and doing so. If you got to back it out into your own zone and reset things, be able to do so. And I think with the addition of Luke Martin, he adds some patience. He adds kind of that high hockey IQ type of thing to the defensive units.
Yeah, and you talk about high hockey IQ. I mean, the only way you're going to beat the Steelheads is if you play smart hockey. You got to find a way to control the game. That's what the Steelheads are really good at doing, is they have a coordinated attack. They're really good at just planning out what they want to do and executing it. And really, I mean, you can say this about any hockey game, but against the Steelheads in particular, whatever team dominates the play through the neutral zone and dictates the term of the flow of the game through the neutral zone, that's the team that's going to win. And I thought in the second and third periods of Wednesday night's game, it was the Grizzlies that were dictating the terms to the neutral zone. So the Grizzlies are able to do that here tonight. They're gonna be the one that wins the game.
Grizzlies have been a better offensive club over the last couple months. They're 9-5-1 in their last 15 games. And really a big thing is the Grizzlies before February 11th were averaging just under 3 goals per game. And over the last 23 games since February 11th, the Grizzlies are averaging close to 4 goals per game. And that comes to the fact the Grizzlies are averaging about 10 more shots per contest over the last 23 games. And with the more aggressive approach and really just kind of that north-south game and the Grizzlies really not being afraid to just fire shots on net, it certainly has translated into more goals.
Well, the best thing you can do, Tyson, is take shots. And the Grizzlies have been doing that. I mean, think about the Grizzlies outshooting the Steelheads 33-29 in Wednesday night's overtime loss. I mean, the Steelheads have only been outshot 14 times all season long. And so for the Grizzlies to go into their building and do that against a team like the Steelheads, I think that says a lot about this Grizzlies team.
Looks like Jordan Kawaguchi of Idaho won the MVP award. He had 52 points in 55 games for Idaho coming into play tonight, 26 goals and 26 assists. They continue to hand out awards. I imagine by the time this thing's over, every single Steelhead will come away with an award here tonight. Well, when we come back in a couple minutes, we'll have face-off over at Idaho Central Arena as the Grizzlies take on the Steelheads for the final time in Idaho. Don't forget, Saturday night's going to be at Maverik Center, the last season meeting between the Grizzlies and Steelheads. It's the last regular season meeting. It is possible the Grizzlies could face these Steelheads in the Mountain Division playoffs. When we come back, we'll have face-off over at Idaho Central Arena as Guy and I are hanging out in the lobby at Maverik Center. And it should be a fun one tonight. The Grizzlies and the Steelheads coming up next on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Expectations here will always remain high, and we'll continue to find a way.
guys put together. A lot of good games, you know.
It's a great night for hockey as two big standings points are on the line tonight as the Grizzlies take on the Idaho Steelheads for the second of a 3-game series. Hi, everybody. I'm Tyson Whiting here with Guy Chiarenza as Utah has a record of 32, 31, and 4 this season. Grizzlies have been just about as good on the road as they have been at home. Utah is 16 and 16 at home this season, but they are 16, 15, and 4 away from Maverik Center, and they're going to need a good effort here tonight. There's 5 games left in the regular season for the Grizzlies and 4 for the Steelheads. Idaho won 3-2 in overtime on Wednesday night as the Steelheads broke a league record for the most home wins in a single regular season. They are 31 and 4 at home. The previous record was set by the 2018-2019 Cincinnati Cyclones, who won 30 home games that year, but one of their 6 losses came to the hands of the Grizzlies back on January 9th of 2019, where Utah won 5-4 in a shootout. Luke Martin came back on Wednesday night, and he scored a big goal with 1:10 left in regulation to give Utah a standing point. He was a key piece to last season's division championship club, and I got to imagine if the Grizzlies are going to make a playoff run here, that Luke Martin's going to be in the middle of it.
I think the best thing about Luke Martin is he brings a lot of experience to the table, yes, but he's also very familiar with this Grizzlies lineup. There's a lot of guys on this year's roster that were on last year's team. You think about his relationship with Coach Kanashevich. Those are two guys that they know each other. They know how to slide Martin into the lineup, and it showed in Wednesday night's game. It seems like Martin just jumped back into the Grizzlies lineup, and it looks like he never missed a beat. Watching him, you would have thought that he was there all season long. So Luke Martin's a really special player, and you add him back to the Grizzlies lineup, it's just a tremendous addition, and I really like it so far.
Trent Miner will get the start in net for the Grizzlies. We hope you can see it on Flow Sports. Apparently, there's just a black screen on the away feed on Flow Sports. Hopefully, they'll get that solved as Miner's in net. He'll go up against Adam Scheel, who won the award for the 3 stars. He must have had the most 3 stars of any of the Steelheads this season. He's got a record of 26, 7, 0, and 1 with a .930 save percentage and 2.02 goals against average. He's going to be a tough one against the Grizzlies this season. Scheel in 7 games has a record of 4-3 with a .918 save percentage. So the Grizzlies have beaten him 3 times. Referee tonight is John Lindner. The linesmen are Eric Landquist and Scott DeBaugh. Grizzlies are going to be skating from left to right as we see it on Flow Sports. Your mind's eye see it on YouTube. Well, hopefully you're able to see it on Flow Sports, and hopefully they get the technical difficulties solved. Idaho will be skating from right to left. We do know the Idaho feed's working because that's what we're watching as Utah wins the draw, and we're underway as McDonald throws it ahead to Dylan Fitz. It's wide of him. Idaho back in their own end will pitch it ahead towards Ty Pelton-Bice, who's got a point in 7 straight. Idaho from Neutrice will tap it into the left corner as the Grizzlies get it. They'll lift it out to Neutrice. They'll bounce it off a Grizzlies stick, and Mick Messner, it will nudge it ahead towards Jamison, but it's wide of the mark as Idaho gets it back. Steelheads back in their own end, skate from right to left as they'll pitch a right wing pass, and dumping it in as Ryan Domowski. Trent Miner behind his net will fire it towards the far corner. It's cut off by the Steelheads. Idaho gets hit by McDonald behind Utah's net. Corey Thomas, a former Steelhead, skates over there as Justin Ducharme skates towards the corner. He'll tap it up top for Casey Johnson, number 13, who will spin it along the boards. Cut off at the right point, and it kicks to the right point for Idaho. It rolls it around the boards. It goes to the near side as Kawaguchi, who won the Team MVP award for Idaho, gets to Wade Murphy. He'll skate towards the left circle. Righty shot saved by Miner. Rebound, Murphy drops off. The only guy there is a Grizzly. Utah 3-on-2, crosses center ice. Now they step over the blue line. Fitz tries to drop it off for the high slot, but the pass doesn't connect. Idaho comes back the other way. 2-on-2. Kawaguchi with the right wing pass to Murphy. He'll take a righty shot. Saved by Miner. As Murphy took the shot from the slot, and Miner gathers it as we get our first whistle. 1:18 into the contest. Everybody make your pick for the Optum first goal of the game. I'm going with Cameron Wright. Guy, who's your pick?
I'm going with Taryn Fizer tonight.
Taryn Fizer leads the Grizzlies with 25 goals. Cameron Wright is in second with 24. Tyler Penner will take the draw against Jack Becker. Penner, the Grizzlies Iron Man, loses the face-off as Willie Nerum on the right side nudges to Becker. Will take a righty shot that's blocked by James Shearer, the former Brandon Wheat King. Now it goes to Taryn Fizer on the near side. They'll move it ahead to center ice where Brandon Cutler has tried to reach it. And it goes back to Idaho as they nudge it ahead. Steelheads step over the offensive line. They'll skate towards the right circle and chip it around the boards. Goes to Jade Miller on the left side. It rolls it around. It's cut off by Luke Martin behind Utah's net, and he'll throw it to the near side for Pfizer. Pfizer will cross center ice in the right wing, and he'll fire it towards the net, and it goes wide as it bounces to the left wing. Lefty shot, saved by Schill. As puck goes back to Luke Martin, right point. Righty shot, saved by Schill again. Rebound goes to Idaho, who will throw it out to center ice. It's gathered by Scher, moves ahead to Penner. He'll fling a right wing shot, a right wing pass to Pfizer, right point. He'll fire a shot that goes wide as the Steelheads make a line change. So to the Grizzlies. Making his professional debuts, Nolan Ritchie, and he'll dump it in from neutral ice. Jordan Martell has to go past him as Idaho crosses center ice. They try to get around Kyle Mayhew. It goes over to Zane Franklin. He'll throw it to the left side. Kawaguchi with a shot that goes wide. Now Owen Hedrick in the right wing. He'll take a shot that's blocked. 2-on-2. Grizzlies enter the attack zone. Grizzlies towards the left side. Right goes down. No call. Grizzlies trying to fire it towards the net. Shot saved by Schill. As Idaho rolls it around the boards, it's cut off at the left point. Grizzlies lefty shot, and that's blocked out in front as it kicks towards the far corner. So we're just underway, about 3 minutes in, still no score. Idaho behind their net in a blue jersey with white numbers, white lettering. As they'll throw a long-range pass, connects to the right side. Kawaguchi feeds it out in front, but the pass is wide, and it goes to Utah. As the Grizzlies will move it ahead out to center ice. As Tyler Penner kicks it ahead, as looks like Scher over there as well, as it goes back to Idaho, and they'll dump it in, as looks like icing is waved off. Puck goes to the near corner, deep in the Grizzlies zone, as Utah takes it. McDonald will fire it ahead. Grizzlies will cross center 2-on-2, and he'll drive it around the boards as it goes to the near side. Trying to cut it off and keep it in the zone. Jamison, he does so. He'll skate towards the right circle, feed it across, lefty shot, saved by Schill. That was taken by James Scher, I believe. That goes back to the near corner. Fitz battles as Idaho moves it. It's cut off by McDonald in the right point. He'll throw it back to the corner, but Idaho picks it off. Puck at neutral ice as Dylan Fitz will get around an Idaho skater. He'll step over the blue line and dump it around the wall. It's cut off by Schill, but Schill behind the net. Now goes back to Justin Ducharme. We'll move it ahead as A.J. White crosses center ice. The Idaho captain, he'll fire a shot saved by Minor as Grizzlies get to Luke Martin, who skates down the middle. Now moving out to center ice as Mick Messner, wearing number 25, gains the blue line, and he gets knocked down by Casey Johnson and loses the puck. As Idaho crosses center ice, as White dumps it in, chasing after it, Sure, he gets it behind Utah's net, so he'll skate towards the near corner, looking for Messner. It's cut off by Becker, kicks it back to the corner. Now Martin moves ahead. It's picked off in the left point. Casey Johnson feeds it to the right side, lefty shot. Blocked by Scher. He's blocked quite a few shots here in the first segment of play. Grizzlies lifting out to center ice, and it bounces in the Steelhead zone. Idaho skating from right to left here in the first period. We'll move a left wing pass. The Steelheads enter from the right side. They'll skate towards the right circle, now around the net, being shadowed by Aaron Tho as they get it over to Casey Johnson, who kicks it ahead. Now Kawaguchi in the left circle. I look to find Murphy out in front. Passes wide of the mark as Idaho throws it back to the right circle. Steelheads looking for the game's first goals. We're still scoreless as Kawaguchi loses it. Grizzlies throw a right wing pass. It connects. Aaron Tho steps over the blue line. He'll skate to Kyle Mayhew. He'll skate down the middle, take a lefty shot, and it's blocked. Idaho clears it out to center. As it goes back to the Utah blue line, Grizzlies will nudge it ahead as Utah will drop it back off for Mayhew. Will kick it off the far wing boards and goes back to the Steelheads. Patrick Kudla, who feeds it across to Jack Becker, who crosses center ice. Becker will lift it in, and it bounces high off the glass towards the near goal line, taken by Kyle Mayhew. He's got good speed. They'll throw it to the far side as the Grizzlies cross center. They don't have numbers, so they'll just dump it in. It's Martell right and Ritchie are on the ice. That's the three forwards. As Idaho rolls along the boards, play starting to get physical here. As Idaho back in their own end will kick it across to Kudla. Will tap off his skate and goes to center ice for McDonald. McDonald across to Corey Thomas, who will move it ahead looking for the Rooster, but it's cut off by Cameron Wright, who skates towards the far circle or the far side in the center ice area. Idaho dumps it back in. Grizzlies will kick it across, and Idaho chases after it deep in their own zone with Cody Haskin, number 74, had 2 goals on Wednesday night. They'll move it out to the far side as Idaho nudges it ahead for A.J. White. Now it goes back to Zane Franklin and will skate towards the near goal line. Franklin had an assist on Wednesday night, lose the puck as the Rooster gathers it. So he'll get it ahead as Grizzlies get around Mick Messner as he skates towards the right side. He'll take a backhand shot, saved by Schill. Rebound goes to Canati as we're 6.5 minutes in, still no score. Canati crosses center ice. He'll veer off to the left circle. Now towards the boards. Canati lefty shot, and it's blocked. Grizzlies get it as Utah will lift it as it goes into the Steelheads zone. Fitz chases after it. Right wing, sharp angled shot goes wide. Puck glides towards center ice where it's regathered by the Grizzlies. Play moving pretty quickly as Martin will throw it to the far side. Grizzlies cross center. Now they step over the blue line. Grizzlies skate towards the left circle. Lefty shot, saved by Shield. Rebound goes out to the right point as Martin feeds it across to Shearer. Shearer with a lefty shot, and it's wide. A lot of traffic out in front. Puck goes back to the right side for Jamison. He'll get to Shearer. Right point shot, saved by Shield. As it goes back to Luke Martin, who skates around Idaho's net. He'll get it back to the far side for Heiskanen, who throws it between his legs. Grizzlies will tap it around the boards. It goes back to Idaho on the right side as Ryan Domowski will move it ahead. The Steelheads finally clear their zone as they cross center ice. They make a nice move, but lose the puck as the Grizzlies poke it back into Steelheads territory. Steelheads still have it as they'll feed it to the near side. Now they'll move it ahead. Idaho skates down the middle. Jack Becker, righty shot, saved by Minor. Luke Martin gets it and clears it out. And does it deflect out a play? I think it does, but is Martin going to get a delay of game penalty? I think he is, as looks like the referee skating towards center ice. Penalty is going to be called, and it's going to be Tyler Penner going to the penalty box when we come back in 30 seconds. No score from Idaho Central Arena on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Tyler Penner is in the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. Have you or someone you know been charged with a DUI? Rogers and Russell is Utah's DUI defense firm. Consequences for driving under the influence in Utah are serious, and you need great attorneys on your first line. Look for a letter in the mail from Rogers and Russell inviting you to schedule a free consultation. Don't throw away or disregard this letter. Call and get Utah's #1 DUI defense team. Rogers and Russell. Well, it looks like Tyler Penner shaved before the game as he's clean shaven. That's not always the case for the former Colgate product. As he's in the penalty box, Idaho is going to get 2 minutes. Let's see what Penner did. As it looked like he cut in front of Becker and looks like he might have either slashed or hooked him. And it looked like a good call by the referee as Idaho's on the power play for the first time tonight. For the season, they're 23.5%. Grizzlies get it. Jamison crosses center ice, right wing. Jamison over to the right side near the boards, gets it as he hangs out in the right point. Now throw it back into Grizzlies territory for McDonald. No score, 12-12 left in the first period. Grizzlies skating from left to right as Utah will fling it out towards Adam Shield. As the Steelheads power play will go to work. Matt Register is a plus 52 this season. He crosses center ice out towards center. Goes back to Cutler, who will throw it back towards the far side at center ice. Idaho resets as Register moves ahead. Steelheads gain the offensive line as Murphy over to the left loses it. And now he gets it back from McDonald as Murphy chips it back up top for Register as he gets the puck in the left point. Register skates towards his right. Now he'll switch places with another Steelhead as Register fires a lefty shot, and it goes wide. Minor might have gotten a piece of it as Kawaguchi skates towards the near corner. Now get over to Willie Nierum. He'll skate along the near goal line, take a shot, saved by Minor. Nierum loses the stick, he'll get it back. Grizzlies will throw it out to center ice. Idaho resets, and good job by Taryn Pfizer taking away from Matt Register and flinging it deep towards Adam Shield. 45 seconds left in Idaho's first power play of the game. Still no score. 11-10 left in the first period. As Kudla skates around Idaho's net, east towards the far side, is now Kudla will gain center ice. Now step over the blue line with speed. He'll get across to Pelton Bice. He'll take a lefty shot that goes wide. Puck goes to the right point. Idaho keeps it in. As Steelheads, Justin Ducharme over to the near side, dancing around. He's got 13 goals this year. Up top for Kudla. Now to Hedrick. He'll take a righty shot. Saved by Minor. Trent holds on with 10:46 left in the first. 19 seconds left in the power play. Good penalty kill so far for Utah.
Yeah, the Grizzlies' penalty kill was really good on Wednesday night. Seems like they're up to the task here again tonight. Grizzlies doing a good job of keeping things to the perimeter and limiting high-quality scoring chances for the Steelheads.
Draw's going to be over in the far circle, apparently on Flow Sports. They just get a black screen right now, so hopefully they'll get that fixed here shortly, and you'll be able to see the game As a draw won by the Grizzlies, they get over to Taryn Pfizer, who will lift it in the air, and it goes deep into the Steelhead zone. Good job by the Grizzlies winning faceoffs here early on. We're about halfway through the first period, still no score. Idaho gets to neutralize. Now they cross center. Kudla enters from the right side as he'll skate towards the right circle. Now Kudla around the net. Will chip it out in front. Idaho fumbles the puck a little bit, and Pfizer gets it and throws it out to center ice. Looking for Tyler Penner, fresh out of the penalty box. As he'll chase after it deep in the Steelhead zone. It's a Utah disaster cleanup, successful penalty kill as Messner will poke it away. Now Idaho regathers it. They cross center ice. Hedrick enters the offensive zone. He'll fling it towards the right circle. Lefty shot goes wide. Puck goes back over to Idaho. They'll kick it around the boards. Luke Martin in the far corner gets it. Utah skating from left to right in the first period as Martin will veer off to his right. Now move it ahead with a blue line to blue line pass. It bounced off the Messner stick. Rolls back to the left side. Grizzlies dump it in as Cameron Wright chasing after it. As he's out there along with Tho and Martin. Dylan Fitz delivers a hit on the far side. Idaho crosses center. Ducharme enters from the left side. He'll stop at the point. Ducharme will skate towards his right as he's being shadowed by Tho. He'll throw it back to Heiskanen, who fumbles the puck out to neutral ice. He just mishandled it. Heiskanen will skate back into his own zone. Now he'll throw a right wing pass. Idaho re-enters. Steelheads throw it back up top. Utah takes it away. Grizz have a breakaway. Martell skates towards the left circle. Take a righty shot. He scores! The Roosters made it a 1-0 game as he's now scored a goal in 6 straight contests. Martell gets his 16th of the year as he high-fives everybody on the Grizzlies bench, and the Rooster has done it again. Boy, he's now got a goal in 6 straight. He just took the puck away from Idaho as he anticipated the play. Just skated down the left side, got to the circle, and boy, Jordan Martell, what can you say?
Cockle-doodle-doo. Who else but the Rooster? That's now 6 goals in his last 6 games. The Rooster is red hot.
Draw's going to be at center ice as Grizzlies for the 2nd straight game have scored first in this series. And Jordan Martell gets it. I think it's unassisted. Grizzlies cross center ice and dump it in. Idaho chases after it. And Jordan Martell, what a pickup. He was acquired in a trade for Neil Robinson. Robinson's now on his 2nd team since that trade. As Nolan Ritchie, right side shot saved by Schill. That might have been Ritchie's first shot as a pro. Ritchie gets it back. He's in the right point. He'll throw it to his right for Tho. Now across to Mayhew. Mayhew gets around Willie Nera. Now I'll throw it back up top for the point, but Idaho picks it off as they anticipated the play well. It goes out to center ice. Grizzlies move it back to Cameron Wright, who will kick it to his left. Mayhew enters the zone. He'll skate towards the left circle. I looks to center, but nobody home but a Steelhead out in front of the crease as Idaho's Matt Register will move it ahead to Zach Walker. Didn't play on Wednesday. Walker gets it poked away by Thomas, and Thomas throws Walker along the near glass. As Grizzlies clear it out to center, it goes into the Steelhead zone as Register chases after it. Register being chased by, well, it looks like Jared Power. I thought he was a scratch. We'll have to take a second look at that as it goes back towards the far side. Grizzlies get it. Utah centers it, but Idaho takes it away as they're looking for Kyle Pouncey cutting in front of the net. As Grizzlies back in their own zone, chase after it over in the far corners. Utah leads 1-0, about 8 minutes left in the first period. As Kodla throws to the high slot for Edrick, he'll take a righty shot. Saved by Minor. Trenton holds on with 7:58 left in the first period as Utah leads 1-0 as Jordan Martell, we believe, scored unassisted a couple minutes ago. It looks like there's a timeout on the ice. We'll be back in 1 minute. The Rooster does it again. He gets his 16th of the year. It's 1-0 Grizzlies on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
7:58 left in the first period. Utah leads 1-0 as Jordan Martell scored unassisted 10:40 into the contest as he did a great job anticipating Idaho throwing a pass to the point of the Grizzlies zone. He picked it off and pretty much had a breakaway towards the left circle where he took the shot. Idaho wins the draw. Patrick Cutler from the left point takes a shot that goes wide as action in the Grizzlies zone. And Utah gets it skating from left to right as they move it out to center ice, but it's picked off by Idaho. As Wade Murphy out to center ice, left wing will try to dump it in. It's picked off by Luke Martin in the Grizzlies zone. He'll get across to Shure over to Taryn Pfizer, dumps it in from neutral ice. As Idaho chases after it, Cudlip gets hit by Tyler Penner as Steelheads out to neutral ice across center. They'll fire a right wing pass. Idaho enters the zone. They skate towards the right circle, centers it to Kawaguchi. Lefty shot goes wide. He didn't get much on it as Cudlip loses the puck. Idaho feeds it back to the far side. Now that's at the point, Idaho chips it across to Wade Murphy, who's been one of Idaho's best forwards. He'll tap it off the near glass and glides towards the goal line. Sure delivers a hit, and he takes the puck. He'll throw it towards the center. Dangerous pass out in front of Utah's net, but the Grizzlies get away with it. Luke Martin, the Michigan man, will cross center ice. Both teams make a line change, so Martin will cross the red line, and he'll drive it around the boards. Shield cuts it off behind his net as Idaho will move it out to center ice. It tapped off a Grizzly stick at neutral ice and goes back into Utah's zone as Utah will bounce it off of Domowski. Now center as it's a tight Pelton. Bice take a shot saved by Minor. Bice throws it up top for Canati. He's in the left point. Canati didn't play on Wednesday as he danced around. Now feed it to the corner. Good defensive play by Nolan Ritchie. Now it goes to Cameron Wright. He'll cross center ice and he'll throw it to Martell, who couldn't reach it. As Idaho around Utah's net, we'll chip it towards the near side as Canati. Now it's a center ice. He'll cross center, and he'll dump it in as it bounces off the end boards on 3 hops of the ice. As Idaho feeds it back up top, looking for Domowski, but the puck stayed along the near boards. Now Cameron Wright gets it. Wright's been outstanding winning those battles along the boards lately as he'll throw it to the far side. Grizzlies cross center. They try to dump it in. Idaho delivers a hit. The puck stays at neutral ice. As the Steelheads will chip a left wing pass out to center ice. Now they dump it in. Grizzlies chase after it. Minor behind his net gets to Connor McDonald, the Grizzlies captain, the Bowling Green product. As Grizzlies to the far side, lift it in the air. It bounces at the Idaho blue line and glides towards the corner. Taken by Casey Johnson, who skates around Idaho's net. He's being shadowed by Keaton Jamison. Now turnover. Jamison righty shot. Saved by Shield. Boy, Johnson turned the puck over, and Jamison had a good look from the slot. 5:40 left in the first period. Grizzlies playing well so far. 1-0 and easily could have made it 2-0 there.
Well, Tyson, the Grizzlies are hungry, man. They came out. They're motivated, not only in the playoff race, but that awards ceremony at the beginning of the game, that had to have added fuel for the fire to the Grizzlies. They look hot right now. They look good.
Big game in the Mountain Division standings. The Grizzlies right now are tied for 4th place in the Mountain Division with 68 points. They do have a tiebreaker over Kansas City. We'll go over the tiebreaker rules during the second intermission tonight. Other action in the Mountain Division. Allen, who's currently in 3rd place with 69 points. They lead Savannah 4-0 with 2 minutes left in the second period. Also after 2 periods, Tulsa leads Kansas City 3-2, and that'd be big if Tulsa comes away with a victory, as Utah is currently tied with Kansas City for 4th place with 68 standings points. But as we mentioned, Utah does have a tiebreaker over Kansas City. And also after 2 periods, Rapid City leads Wichita 3-2. The Thunder in 2nd place in the Mountain Division, which is really crowded. The Grizzlies are just 2 points behind 2nd place Wichita in the Mountain Division, and Utah does have a tiebreaker over the Thunder. 5:40 is left in the first period. Utah leads 1-0 as Luke Martin on the ice sporting a mustache. Guy and I already have our playoff beards because it feels like the playoffs don't start in 2 weeks. It feels like the Grizzlies' playoff run starts right now. As the draw goes into the corner, Grizzlies in the attack zone as Cutler over to Penner. Near goal, near side, sharp angled shot hits the side of the net. Idaho will skeet towards the far side as a player goes down for either side. As Grizzlies to the left point tries to keep it in the attack zone, it glides towards the slot. Pfizer gets cut off by Register, who will fling it around Idaho's net. Steelheads will reset the attack with 5:15 left in the first. Utah leads 1-0 as Jordan Martell scored unassisted 10.5 minutes in. Idaho will cross center ice. Now they step over the offensive line. Grizzlies back defensively. Steelheads skeet towards the far corner. They've outshot the Grizzlies 10-9. Idaho, Matt Register chips across to Niram. Out back to the right side. They try to feed it back to the left, and nobody was home, even though Minor had left his feet. As the Grizzlies throw it to the far side, as Utah will cross center. Now they dump it in from the left point as it kicks off the right corner. As the Steelheads will now cross center ice. Zach Walker didn't play on Wednesday. He replaced Justin Misiak in the lineup. He'll move it ahead as Idaho to the left circle. As Niram feeds it to the near goal line, looking for Walker, and taps off his stick and glides towards Minor. And after the whistle, Walker having some words with a Grizzly. 4:31's left in the first. And if we're talking about physical presences on Idaho's team, Zach Walker is certainly one of those guys who will throw his body around. But so far, it looks like Trent Minor's done a good job in net.
Yeah, he has, Tyson. The Steelheads really have had some really good scoring chances, but Trent Minor has been up to the task for all of them. He's stood really tall here tonight. He's played a solid game thus far.
Draw's going to be in the near side. Grizzlies wearing the white jerseys with black numbers and professional green trim. As Grizzlies, Cameron Wright's taking the face off, and he wins it. As Utah will tap it off the near glass. Kudla keeps it in, but Utah takes it away. Wright moves it ahead. Grizzlies skate towards the left side. Nolan Ritchie with a lefty shot. Saved by Shield as he holds on. And I believe that was Nolan Ritchie taking his second shot as a Grizzly and second shot as a pro. And let's see, it was Ritchie who skated towards the left circle, and it looks like he's got a pretty good shot, and he moves around pretty well.
Yeah, he does, Tyson. That was a dangerous wrister from the left circle. I like what this guy brings to his game. I really love that shot. I think it's only a matter of time before he gets his first pro goal.
Draws give me in the left circle. Cameron Wright will take it. 4:21's left in the first period. Utah leads 1-0. Right, taking a lot of faceoffs in this series. Didn't necessarily do that for other portions of the season. Puck kicks towards the right side. Wright gets it. Righty shot goes wide as the puck glides along the far boards. As Though feeds it back to the corner. Idaho delivers a hit as Wright collided with Owen Hedrick. Now Hedrick will feed a left wing pass to Idaho. Will tap it off the near boards. This goes back to Kyle Mayhew over to Thoe. Back to Mayhew. As Mayhew skates along the near side, he'll cross center ice. Mayhew skates down the middle. He'll take a lefty shot. Kick saved by Shield. Rebound goes to the left side. Penner with a backhand look, and he fanned on it as Idaho clears it out to center. Grizzlies back in their own zone as they're at their blue line, skating from left to right as they move it ahead to Dylan Fitz. Fitz wearing an A on his sweater will drive it in from the left wing as it goes back to the right point. Grizzlies cut it off, and they'll fling it back around. It goes to the near goal line. Grizzlies skate around. Backhand shot saved by Shield. Utah fires it back up top, left side. Mayhew with a shot that goes wide as McDonald gets overpowered by Idaho, clears it back into the Grizzlies zone. Idaho to the near side, gets poked away by Jamison. Now Corey Thomas skates around Utah's net. He'll feed it to the far side. Grizzlies couldn't reach it at the Utah blue line. It goes back to center ice as Idaho will reset the attack from right to left. Kanadi feeds it to the far side as Idaho chips to their right. Steelheads enter the attack zone as Idaho, right wing shot goes wide. Puck flips high in the air, and it looks like it hits off the protective netting. As the draw is going to stay in the Grizzlies zone with 2:59 left in the first. Grizzlies lead 1-0. Looks like pretty good action, and there was a kick saved by Trent Minor. It was looked sharp so far.
Action has been really high-paced, Tyson. I mean, it's just been a really fast game, not a lot of whistles. And for the Grizzlies, I really like what they're doing in the transition game, going from the defensive zone to the offensive zone. They've looked great.
We'll go over the playoff picture during the first intermission. As Utah wins the draw, they skate around Minor's net. Last road game for the Grizzlies this season. They get it ahead to Pfizer. Pfizer over to Penner. He'll tapping off the skate of a Steelhead as Idaho clears it back to center. James Shearer, the former University of Calgary product, will throw it ahead. Now goes back to Shearer in the Grizzlies zone. He'll move it across to Martin, who nudges towards Taryn Pfizer. Pfizer leads the Grizzlies with 25 goals. He'll get it back to Shearer. We'll kick it out to Tyler Penner, who's skating the other way as Idaho regathers the puck at their blue line. As the Steelheads are reset in the blue jerseys with white numbers, white lettering. It's kind of a royal blue, kind of a lighter shade as Casey Johnson will chip it to his right. Idaho enters the zone. They skate towards the right circle. Righty shot, saved by Minor. Puck kicks all around the near boards and deep in the Steelhead zone as Domowski chases after it. He's got 28 goals and 36 assists this season. He'll move it ahead. Pass is incomplete, and we get a whistle. 2:08 left in the first period. Draw is going to come back towards Adam Shields. The Steelheads are called for icing as Ryan Domowski, who had 5 goals in one game last season against the Grizzlies. It was in March of 2022. One of the best offensive performances I've ever seen as Domowski was just outstanding. For my money, this is the best rivalry in the ECHL as these teams, it seems like no love is lost. They're two teams that don't like each other much, and obviously seeing each other 18 times this season, about 15 or 16 times last year. you get to hate a person by seeing him as often as you do. Idaho wins the draw, and they'll skate into the attack zone as they skate around Miner's net. Grizzlies with good team speed take it away. Grizzlies towards the near side. Martell up ahead. Couldn't hit Cameron right at neutral ice. It goes back to the Steelheads, who are still in their own zone. Now, feed it to the near side. Tapped off a Grizzlies stick and goes back to Justin Ducharme. He's in his own zone. 1:40 and counting left in the first. As the Steelheads will cross center ice, they get around Ritchie. Now Idaho skates towards the right circle. Righty shot on a glance off a Grizzly stick and flies out of play. And after the whistle, some pushing and shoving in the corner. As it looks like Aaron Tho going after it with Ryan Domowski. And Domowski had to be separated. Probably wasn't Tho he was going after, but it was somebody else. Looked like Cameron Wright, the two number 15s. As Domowski having some words with Cameron Wright with 1:32 left in the first.
And the mouse is in the house for the Idaho Steelheads. And the last time the Steelheads were in Maverik Center, we saw Ryan Domowski get really frustrated. If the Grizzlies can continue, to put pressure on him and get him frustrated, get him off his game, the Steelheads as a team might find a way to just kind of go off the rails, and this thing could be in the hands of the Grizzlies.
Looked like a 5-man huddle for Idaho before the face-off as they try to drop a play. Cameron Wright being looked at by Colin Lee, the Grizzlies trainer, but it looks like Wright's okay. Draws on the far side of the Grizzlies zone. 1:32 left in the first. Utah leads 1-0 as Jordan Martell scored unassisted 10.5 minutes in. Idaho wins the draw. Cudlett to the left side. We'll throw it back down the middle. Idaho skates down the middle. Willie near him. We'll take a righty shot. Save, and it goes wide. He tried to go glove side on Miner, but missed the net. Cudlett, high slot shot, and it's blocked as puck glides towards the near corner. Idaho gets up top for Cudlett. Shots are about even. Cudlett has a glance off his stick and goes into the Steelhead zone. Grizzlies they skate towards the left side. Lefty shot. Saved by Shield. I think that was taken by Messner. As it goes back to Idaho as they'll cross center ice. As the Steelheads will skate towards their left, Utah takes it away. Looks like the Grizzlies have really improved their team speed with some of the additions they've made this week. As it goes to the near side, Grizzlies back in their own end. Connor McDonald has the puck. Is still thrown out to center ice. As the Grizzlies from the left wing drive it around the boards. And it stays in play as Pfizer to the right side. He'll skate around Idaho's net. Now Pfizer to the left. He'll take a righty shot. Saved by Schill. It was a sharp-angled shot by Terran Pfizer, and he really did a good job creating his own scoring chance there, skating around the net, and Schill was able to make the stop with less than a minute left in the first period. Looked like Cutler was skating over there looking for a rebound, but didn't get all that close to Schill. Well, it's always tough to score against that Idaho netminder. It's going to take breakaways, and it's going to take some redirections out in front of the net. Utah's going to have to find a way to get some traffic. It's kind of an interesting style of play. It's just kind of gone back and forth the whole first period. Utah wins the draw. Luke Martin, left point, shot, and it's blocked in the slot as Idaho's Zane Franklin will carry it out to center ice. He crossed the red line. He'll fire a shot. It's gloved by Miner. It looks like the Utah netminder holds on, and it just looks like a routine save by Miner, but what Franklin did there by firing towards the net is he gets an offensive zone draw for Idaho with 28 seconds left as they're trying to generate something here late in the first period.
Yeah, we saw the Grizzlies score the first goal in Wednesday night's game, but the Steelheads rallied back with 2 goals late in the first period. For the Grizzlies, you need to tighten up defensively so you can take this lead going into the locker room.
Draw won by the Grizzlies as Kyle Mayhew will tap it ahead. Grizzlies to the far side will throw a rink-wide pass. It goes past Terran Pfizer. Pfizer gets it to the right side. He'll take a righty shot. And saved by Schill. Now Pfizer gets it. Skates towards the left side for Cutler. Pass goes wide as Idaho across center ice. 10 seconds left in the period. Idaho dumps in from neutral ice. Grizzlies deliver a big-time hit, and that's Kyle Mayhew. Now left side, Canati with a shot, and it's blocked. Idaho with one last chance along the near goal line, and it kicks free. And time runs out in the first period as Luke Martin having some words with Zane Franklin, Kawaguchi in the area as well. As 20 minutes have been played over at Idaho Central Arena, and Utah leads 1-0 as Jordan Martell scored unassisted. They show the replay on Flow Sports. He did a great job anticipating where the puck was going to be, picked it off, and just kind of had a breakaway as he skated towards his favorite spot in the left circle. And what a goal celebration it was, as Jordan Martell now has a goal in 6 straight games. When we come back, Guy Chiarenza will recap the first 20 minutes of play, and we'll also talk about the Grizzlies' playoff picture. There's only 5 games left in the regular season starting tonight. It's the final road game of the final road game of the regular season for Utah, as the Grizz will be home for 4 straight games, starting on Saturday night against Idaho and 3 games against Tulsa next week to close out the regular season. Rio Tinto Kennecott Intermission Report starts in 2 minutes here on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverik, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Maverik's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Welcome back to the Grizzlies Hockey Network. This is the first intermission report presented by Rio Tinto Kennecott, where it's the Grizzlies 1 and the Steelheads 0 after 20 minutes of play over at Idaho Central Arena. I'm Guy Chiarenza alongside Tyson Whiting, and we're just chilling here in the Maverik Center lobby watching this game and waiting for the Grizzlies to come back here to Maverik Center where they take on these Steelheads tomorrow night. As I mentioned, it's the Grizzlies 1, the Steelheads 0 after 20 minutes. And the first goal and only goal of the first period came 10:40 in, and it's courtesy of the Rooster, Jordan Martell, because who else would it be? Nobody's hotter on this Grizzlies team than the Rooster. He gets his 16th goal of the year, and it is unassisted. That was the only goal of the first period, and I think congratulations to 71 Cowboys on YouTube. I think he had Jordan Martell scoring the first goal of the game, the Optum first goal of the game. So congratulations to 71. Shots are even through one period of play. It's Utah 13 and Idaho 13. The Grizzlies found a way to put shots on the Steelheads in the later two periods in Wednesday night's game, and the Grizzlies picked up right where they left off, getting 13 on the board to start this one. Idaho had the only power play of the game to this point. Tyler Penner got 2 minutes for hooking 7:33 in, but the Grizzlies' penalty kill was up to the task. Idaho's 0 for 1 on the power play, and as I mentioned before, Utah does not have a chance on the power play as of yet. Trent Miner got the starting goal for the Grizzlies tonight. He stopped all 13 shots that he's seen. It's Adam Scheel in net tonight for the Steelheads. He's made 12 saves on 13 shots. As for shots for the Grizzlies, the leader in the clubhouse is Taryn Pfizer with 3 shots. A few skaters have 2 for the Grizzlies. That's Brandon Cutler and newest Grizzly, Nolan Ritchie. So he's wearing number 61 for the Grizzlies tonight. He's looked hot in his debut. He's already got a +1 rating and 2 shots. And so Tyson, for the Grizzlies, they need to come out with a lot of energy, need to be hungry to get this win. I think they've done just that through 20 minutes of play.
I think we probably just came back from break on Flow Sports. We've had some weird difficulties, and unfortunately, I think some of them are out of our control. But the Rooster, I think in that goal, he really did a good job anticipating where the puck was going to be. As the puck glided back towards the point, oftentimes you see when a team's on the power play, you'll see the other team cheat a little bit and try to anticipate where the puck's going to be, especially if the puck ends up in the same spot over and over again. I think you saw that Idaho liked to get that puck back towards the point, and obviously these teams have seen each other quite a bit this season, even though they haven't seen each other, obviously, for a couple months leading up to this series in Boise. And I think Martell really did a good job anticipating the play, got the puck, and by the time he got it at the Utah blue line, he pretty much had a breakaway, and, Steelhead was chasing after it. So it wasn't like he was going to skate in and had all sorts of time. He's kind of found his favorite spot over in the left circle. It was very reminiscent of how Dylan Fitz would handle breakaways, just kind of skating to his happy spot in either the left circle or the right circle and then firing away. And obviously against a good goaltender like Adam Scheel, you're not going to fake him out all that often. He's somebody that you're just going to have to be very matter of fact and just get to your spot and take your shot. And Martell did, and he didn't miss. And that's really what good teams do. That's why Idaho's been such a good team. You look at clubs like Toledo and Cincinnati. They're clubs that when, the opposing team makes a mistake, and Idaho doesn't make a whole lot of mistakes, but when they do, you got to capitalize on them. Idaho made a mistake. Martell picked off the pass, and he skated down, and he got his opportunity, and he cashed in on it. And I think that's something that the Grizzlies over the last couple months, we talked about the Grizzlies averaging about 4 goals per game over the last couple months. That's been a big reason why, is the Grizzlies have done a good job of capitalizing on those opportunities, finishing those turnovers. Jamison had a good look in the slot about a minute after Martell scored, and he had a pretty good look as he took the puck away from Casey Johnson and could have made it 2-0. So the Grizzlies really have done a good job capitalizing on Idaho mistakes, and really it's only been one mistake that Idaho made in the first period, and Martell made him pay for it.
Grizzlies are playing smart hockey right now, Tyson. And you mentioned, this is the 17th meeting of the season between the Grizzlies and the Steelheads. It's almost like a sibling rivalry where it's like you've seen them so many times, you live with them, and it's like, you know what they're going to do. And so for Jordan Martell, he's got a good taste of the Steelheads this season. He knew exactly what they were going to do, and he took that puck and went the other way. And, he's just playing on another level right now. He's really flown the coop and just transcended his game to the next level. The Rooster, he now has 9 goals and 5 assists in his last 9 games. That's just incredible. And you can argue Keaton Jamison is the other Grizzly that might be as hot as Martell, and he almost had a goal, as you mentioned, a great shot from the slot. So, the Grizzlies are firing on all cylinders, and I really thought in this first period, they looked motivated. They looked like they were ready to play. And I personally think that awards ceremony, I think that ticked the Grizzlies off. I think they wanted to come in and spoil the party, and so far they're doing a great job of that.
Well, the Grizzlies, it seems like every year, are there for the final homestand of the Steelheads, and they have to sit through that award show every single year. So obviously that was the case once again this season. And, Utah, and, if you're the visiting team, we didn't get to see it this year, but I imagine Utah was sitting on the bench just kind of watching and waiting. Or maybe they hung out in the locker room. You have to be there to find out. But, for Utah, there was a little bit of that delay. They probably knew that going in. And, they took advantage of it, knowing that Idaho, sitting back, they've already got 31 home wins. And really, in reality, Idaho's just playing for league records at this point. The all-time record for wins and standings points, they're up for that record as well. And, for the Grizzlies, they need these victories to battle for a playoff spot. And you think about right now, Utah tied for 4th. And the next segment, we'll go over the Mountain Division standings and where the Grizzlies sit as we speak. But Utah off to a good start here through 20 minutes. They lead 1-0, and the Grizzlies have done a great job protecting leads this season. That's been really a hallmark of Grizzlies clubs. They haven't blown many leads this season. When leading after 1, Utah is 13-1 this season. So the middle frame is certainly going to be big because the Grizzlies have only lost 1 game when leading after 2. But, this Idaho high-powered offense, they're going to come through. And I think for Utah, just like they did in the first period, just play aggressive and hope that Trent Miner can have the type of second period he had in the first, because he was outstanding in the first 20 minutes of play.
I agree, Tyson. Trent Miner was fantastic in the first period. And if anybody thinks that the Steelheads are not really playing their best here tonight because they really have nothing to play for, they're just really waiting for the playoffs at this point, I think you're wrong. I think the Steelheads really have come out and tried to play their best in this game. Back and forth action through the first period. The Grizzlies really went toe-to-toe with the best team in the league and came out on top after 20 minutes of play. You think about the Steelheads, they have a chance. If they were to win these games against the Grizzlies, that would really put a hamper on what the Grizzlies are trying to cook up in terms of the playoff situation. So for the Steelheads, it's a rivalry game. It's a big game. They want to win in front of their home crowd. They're here to play, and the Grizzlies have stuck with them through 20 minutes and then some with a 1-0 lead.
It looks like the Grizzlies, with the new guys, they brought in some speed. Think about some of the players that Utah lost over the last couple of weeks. Dakota Raby, Cam Strong. The Grizzlies did lose some speed. And it looks like with the additions of Kyle Mayhew, Mick Messner, Nolan Ritchie, looks like the Grizzlies brought some speed to their attack. And Luke Martin, despite being a guy that's 6'3" and 215 pounds, he moves around pretty well as a bigger defenseman. When we come back to the Rio Tinto Kennecott intermission report, we'll go over the rest of the games, the Mountain Division standings in action tonight, and we'll talk about the current Mountain Division playoff picture and where the Grizzlies fit into it. First intermission, Utah leads 1-0 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverik, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Maverik's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
The race is heating up for the Mountain Division playoffs. I'm Tyson Whiting here with Guy Chiarenza. But it doesn't feel like the playoffs start in 2 weeks. It feels like for the Grizzlies, the playoff run starts right now, and that's why Guy and I are starting to grow our playoff beards, as these are big games in the standings. And if you think about where the Mountain Division standings are at right now, Idaho leads away with 111 standings points. They're going to be the 1 seed. They've clinched everything. Wichita is in second place with 70 points. That's right. Idaho leads the Mountain Division by 41 points. As Wichita's got 70 points, they're in second place with a .507 winning percentage. Really, that's the kicker for Wichita. Tonight is their 70th game this season. Allen with 69 points. They're playing their 67th game tonight against Savannah. The Americans have a .523 point percentage. Utah is in a tie for fourth with Kansas City. Both clubs have 68 standings points. Kansas City's taking on Tulsa tonight. Both clubs have a .507 point percentage. Rapid City's in sixth place, but they have 66 standings points. They play Wichita tonight, and then they close the regular season with 3 games against the Idaho Steelheads. So that's the Mountain Division standings as it sits right now. Guy, what are some of the big games going on in the Mountain Division this evening?
Well, we've got 4 big games and in the Mountain Division tonight, Tyson, our game being one of them. The Grizzlies lead the Steelheads 1-0 after 20 minutes of play. At the top of the third in Allen, it's the Americans 4 and the Ghost Pirates 0. And so over in Tulsa, Oklahoma, it's the Oilers 3-2 over the Mavericks. Just about 15 minutes to go in the third period in that one. And then the Rapid City Rush are in Wichita to take on the Thunder tonight. The Rush lead that game 4-2 with about 12 minutes to go in the third period.
So interesting action over in the Mountain Division. I'm really curious to see what Wichita does, because they really need to maximize their point total, because they're already playing their 70th game, but they're down 4-2 with 11 minutes left in the third period to Rapid City. Now watch out for Rapid City. Now, they could get 2 points tonight. They've got a 2-goal lead against Wichita, but they do end with a 3-game series against Idaho. So they got a really tough final weekend against a good club. And I'm really interested in seeing that Tulsa-Kansas City game. I mean, Tulsa's in last place. They really don't have anything to play for, but they could be a dangerous club. And I think this could end up being something to watch out for, is Tulsa is a club that's going to be at Maverik Center next week, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, the last 3 games of the regular season for the Grizzlies. And so Tulsa, they're looking to play the role of the spoiler They've got a 1-goal lead against Kansas City, and that's certainly big for the Grizzlies. And I think you're rooting for Tulsa tonight because Utah right now is tied for 4th with Kansas City as both clubs have 68 points. So we're obviously doing a lot of scoreboard watching, and it's going to be a very fascinating race to the playoffs.
It's going to come right down to that series against Tulsa here at the Maverik Center, quite possibly even that last game of the season to find out if the Grizzlies can clinch a playoff spot. Right now for the Grizzlies, it's just if you take care of business and win your games, you're going to be just fine. I like the way the Grizzlies have played against the Steelheads. I'm sure they'll bring that same energy against the Tulsa Oilers, but the Oilers are a team that should not be taken lightly. You look at that score against Kansas City, up 3-2. Tulsa's not going to make the playoffs. They're eliminated from playoff contention, but there they are beating the Kansas City Mavericks, the team that really needs that win. So I think the Oilers are going to play the role of spoiler against the Grizzlies. They're going to come in. They're going to be hungry to try and spoil the Grizzlies' playoff hopes. The Grizzlies have to be up to the task.
It's the final road game of the regular season for Utah. They're 16, 15, and 4 on the road this year. Last remote broadcast of the regular season. I'm certainly excited about that. Don't forget the Grizzlies and Steelheads will be at Maverik Center tomorrow. It's Asian American Pacific Islander night. Here at Maverik Center, as the Grizzlies take on the Steelheads. Should be a fun evening. Get your tickets, UtahGrizzlies.com. And don't forget the final 3 games of the regular season will be against the Tulsa Oilers here at Maverik Center. It's the final Bud Light College night of the regular season as the series opener is on Wednesday, April 12th. And then the final AFCU Friday of the season is next Friday, 7 days from now, as the Oilers will be in town for the second of a 3-game series. And remember, with every AFCU Friday, tickets start just $8 when you pay using your AFCU debit or credit card at the Maverik Center box office. And the regular season finale is going to be Fan Appreciation Night and Star Wars Night. That's going to be Saturday, April 15th. Major League Baseball calls it Jackie Robinson Day, and the ECHL, we call it Playoff Day, as teams are going to be making the playoffs or could be eliminated from the playoffs on Saturday, April 15th. And I got a feeling it might come down to that final game before we find out, 1, if the Grizzlies are going to be in the playoffs, and 2, where the Grizzlies are going to be playing. But if they play like they did in the first period, it's possible we might know by Friday whether the Grizzlies are going to be a playoff team or not. This is certainly a big game in the standings, a final road game, as Utah has already won 3 times this season at Idaho Central Arena. And can the Grizzlies tomorrow night find a way to get 2 standings points against Idaho? That would certainly be critical with last place Tulsa coming in next week. When we come back, looks like both teams are on the ice. We'll have second period action right now, as Adam Sheila is in net wearing number 35 as he gets a swig of water. As the Grizzlies will be skating from right to left as we see it on Flow Sports. In your mind's eye, see it on YouTube. As the Grizzlies in the white jerseys with black numbers and professional green trim, as they're led by second-year head coach Ryan Kanaswich. Looks like the same 5 that started the game will be out there for Utah. That's Mick Messner, Dylan Fitz, and Keaton Jamison. That's the forwards. The defensive unit is Corey Thomas and Connor McDonald. 20 minutes are put on the clock. Puck is dropped, and we're underway for the second period as Corey Thomas gets it to Connor McDonald, as now it goes back to Idaho as they skate from left to right. Steelheads back at their blue line will start the attack as they're very methodical with their approach, even though they do outshoot opponents by about 8 per game. As they'll cross center ice and dump it in, Kanati chases after it. Kanati to the right side, flings it up top as Heiskanen takes a righty shot, and it's blocked out in front of Miner. Idaho kicks away. Miner looks like he's covered up and made the save, as hacking in front of the net was Justin Ducharme, who pats Miner on the shoulder and says, "You all right, man?" Miner says, "I'm just fine." As Ducharme trying to crash the net there after Heiskanen's shot, and Ducharme really trying to, looked like a rebound was out in front. Ducharme kicked it out in front. Looked like Pelton Bice was out in front, getting it to Ducharme. But Miner was able to make the save as we get our first whistle 27 seconds into the second period. We apologize to the viewers on YouTube. We're really just trying to do the best we can with this camera setup, but it's just not ideal. Idaho wins the draw. Domowski right wing shot, and it's blocked by Shearer. Now it goes to Ducharme. He'll feed across one-timer, and it's blocked by Martin. Big stop by Luke Martin, as looked like Pelton Bice had a good look. Now Domowski to the left side. He's at the point. He'll fire it around the boards. Idaho back to the right side. Martin kicks it away, and it goes back to Idaho, who fires it over to the high slot. Now left wing shot, and it goes wide as they try to go stick side on Miner. As Idaho kicks it up top for Heiskanen, who had 2 goals on Wednesday night. As he'll get it back to Ducharme, back to Heiskanen. High slot, righty shot goes wide. As Grizzlies get it, as Idaho makes a full line change, 18:50 and counting left in the second, as Utah throws it into the offensive zone. Grizzlies get it to the corner. Now they spin it along the boards as the Grizzlies chasing after it. Idaho gets it taken away, but it goes out to center ice. Utah will re-enter the zone with momentum. Sure kicks it ahead to Martin, who gets to the center ice logo. He gets tripped up as Idaho gets it and clears it or dumps it in. As White chasing after it, as puck glides towards the far side, Idaho to the left point. Casey Johnson rolls it back around as White will throw up behind the net as Pfizer shadowing. James Sure defending Kawaguchi as Kawaguchi trying to get around him behind Utah's net. He'll kick it to the left point. Now across to Register. We'll fire it to the corner. Goes back to Wade Murphy behind the net, who will toss it back towards the point, but it stays along the far boards. Now Idaho gets it. They'll throw it to the left circle. Idaho around the net. Shot saved by Minor. Now it goes to A.J. White, who kicks it ahead as Wade Murphy trying to get to Kawaguchi. It bounced off a stick and rolls towards Minor, who covers up in the crease with 17:51 left in the second. Looks like Idaho's been a little bit more aggressive here to start the second period, and the Grizzlies doing a good job out in front of the net, boxing out Idaho skaters.
Yeah, Tyson, that was one of the things from Wednesday night where we saw Walker in front of the net, although they gave the goal to Heiskanen. The Grizzlies didn't box him out, and as a result of that, Minor might have gotten screened, and they let that goal in. Here tonight, the Grizzlies are doing a good job of clearing the crease, not letting the Steelheads sit on the doorstep.
Grizzlies lead 1-0. Draw's going to be in the far circle as the linesman looks to drop the puck. Make sure to follow the Grizzlies on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok. I'm on Twitter at Tyson on Sports. Draw won by the Grizzlies. As they move it past the Rooster, it goes to the left side as Grizzlies kicking out to center. As Idaho throws it back to Cameron Wright, who picks it off. Now goes to the left side. Martell over to Ritchie. He'll skate towards the left side. I tried to throw a pass out to his right, and it bounced off of Cudless' skate. As Idaho will lift it high into the air. It bounces. Grizzlies will bat it back towards their bench. It goes to Ritchie. No hand passes. Ritchie skates towards the near goal line. Now he's to the right side. He'll take a sharp angled shot that goes wide. And Ritchie's really looked good. He'll make his home debut tomorrow night. Idaho moves out to center ice, and they'll dump it in as the Steelheads make a line change. Utah leads 1-0 about 3 minutes into the second period. As Idaho tries to feed it out in front, gets kicked away as the Grizzlies towards the near side couldn't reach it. Hedrick throws it to the left side for Kudla. Now goes back up top for Hedrick, but he left the right point, and that's where the puck ended up. As it goes into the Steelhead zone, Grizzlies get Dylan Fitz on the ice as Utah makes a line change. As Hedrick will tap it off the far glass, it goes to the Utah blue line. It's taken by Idaho. Franklin tries to drop it off for Domowski, but he was skating the other way. Dylan Fitz gets hit pretty hard at neutral ice. Idaho dumps it back in, and it was Zach Walker that hit Fitz. As over to the left side, Idaho centers it. They were looking for Walker, but Utah picks it off. Grizzlies cross center ice. Fitz will lift it over the head of Canati as it bounces off the end boards on 2 hops to the ice. Puck glides towards the near side. It's taken by Thomas. It'll fire towards the net, and it goes wide on a left wing shot as Idaho will throw it out to center ice. They bounce it as Thomas delivers a hit. Idaho dumps it in. It ricochets off the end boards as Connor McDonald gets it, and he stations himself behind Trent Minor's net. About 4 minutes into the second period, Utah leads 1-0 as McDonald surveys. He's got the C on his sweater as McDonald fakes towards the near side. Now chip it to the far side as the Grizzlies will carry it out to neutral ice. Blue line to blue line pass connects towards Fitz, who dumps it in. Grizzlies make a full line change as Idaho gets it. They station themselves behind Adam Scheel. Canati glides it towards the near side. Now they get it out to center ice. Idaho enters the zone from the right side as Ducharme. Right wing backhand shot saved by Minor. Rebound goes out to the near side. Penner battling as Idaho feeds it across. Still had skate down the middle. Johnson glides it towards his left. Lefty shot saved by Minor. As Idaho kicks it across, they couldn't handle as it bounces off the near boards and it goes to center ice. Register skates back into his own zone. Still has outshot the Grizzlies 5-0 here in the second period. As Idaho to the right side will bounce off the boards. Ducharme gets hit by Fitz. As though nearby, he'll join the play. Register takes it away. So toss to the near corner. Idaho near the right circle will glide it up top for Register. He'll skate towards his left. Register fires towards the net. Saved by Minor. Now rebound, right wing shot. And that one gets blocked before it gets to Minor as Murphy was looking for the second look. Register throws to the slot. Now goes back to Kawaguchi in the left point. As Kawaguchi gets around a Grizzly, gets knocked down by Shearer. Referee's letting him play tonight as the Grizzlies carried out across center ice. 3-on-3. Utah drops it off as Pfizer gained the line. Idaho pokes it back to center. Steelheads carried into the left side. Kawaguchi around Utah's net. He'll bounce off the Grizzlies skate. It goes back to Utah as Richie moves it out to Kyle Mayhew. Mayhew, the Denver product. Second pro game. Will make his home debut tomorrow. He loses. Register will throw up around Idaho's net as the Steelheads kicking out to center ice. Pass connects. Niram throws it down the middle for Kawaguchi. Good defensive play by Richie, cutting him off. As Richie gets the puck, he'll skate down the middle. He crosses center ice. He'll fling it ahead. It's picked off by Idaho. Oh, looks like the whistle blows and delayed offside. And it looks like everybody stopped skating. 14:03 left in the second. We don't actually get to hear any of the natural sounds over in Idaho, so we don't know one way or another, but it looks like offside is called on the Grizzlies. But a good defensive play by Nolan Richie, who on a couple of occasions seemed to be in the right place at the right time.
Yeah, he's looked quite solid in his first game with the Grizzlies. I mean, it must be difficult to go to a new team on the road and play your first game, but so far he looks like he's been up to the task. I like what I've seen from him.
14:03 left in the second period. Grizzlies have been one of the better teams on the road in the Mountain Division. Remember, Utah won 19 road games last season, which was the most in the Mountain Division. This year, they're 16, 15, and 4. Draw is going to be in the Grizzlies zone as the draw won by Utah. Grizzlies have yet to be on the power play tonight as Richie lifts it out to center ice, bounces over the stick of Cameron Wright. Idaho gets it back to center ice, and they'll dump it in as they'll tap it off the near boards. It goes to Aaron Tho, as he'll station himself behind Trent Miner's net, and he'll feed it to the near side off the wall for Martell, who glides it ahead for Wright. He'll chip it off the near boards, looking for Martell to chase after it. He gets there in the corner, but he gets it poked away as Idaho clears it out to center. Thomas across to McDonald, across the center ice. Now step over the blue line and drive it around the boards. Over in the left point, Penner has a bounce off the Steelhead skate. It goes to Corey Thomas. Thomas moves ahead as Utah re-enters. Pass towards Jared Power down the middle is picked off as Idaho throws it ahead. Steelheads skeet down the middle as Miller gets it poked away. Good defensive play by Corey Thomas as Miller tried to get around Thomas. If he would have had a breakaway essentially. Miller throws to the left side. Idaho with a left wing shot and it goes wide. Puck glides towards the near boards. Utah chases after it. They get it. Grizzlies. Let right wing pass. It connects. Now trying to get back to Power. Power to the left side. We'll roll it along the boards. As it goes past Kyle Pouncey, Idaho gets it on the far side. They're at the point as they'll drop it off as the Steelheads will cross center ice. Kanadi steps over the line. He'll skate towards the left circle. They got a lefty shot. And it looks like Miner makes the save. Good glove stop by Trent Miner as Nick Kanadi, who's got 4 goals this season, displaying outstanding speed, had a good look, but Miner denies him. 12:44 left in the second period. It's the Grizzlies 1 and the Steelheads nothing. We're back in 1 minute on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverik's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverik, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club.
Utah leads 1-0. Less than 14 minutes left in the second period. Guy, what have you seen so far in the second?
Well, it seems like to start the second period, the Steelheads came out hungry. Probably didn't like the way they played in the first, and they were really pushing the pressure on the Grizzlies. And Trent Miner was making some great saves, managed to keep the puck out of the Grizzlies' net. Seems like more recently the Grizzlies have been focused on going the other way and reigniting the transition game, but the Grizzlies need to find a way to get out of their own zone.
Draws over on the far side of Utah's zone. Trent Miner's off to a good start. Jade Miller will take the draw for Idaho against Keaton Jamison. Draw won by Idaho. Lefty shot goes wide as they try to go stick side on Miner as Utah lifts it out to center ice. It ricochets off the near boards. That's where both benches are from where we see. As Nick Kanadi skates along the near side, he'll get to neutral ice. He'll tap it off of Jack Becker, who chases after it. He gets at the Utah blue line. He gets around McDonald as Becker gets it across to Walker. He's along the near side. He'll tap it up top for Haskinen, who fires it across, and nobody was home as Kanadi was skating the other way. Grizzlies cross center. Pitt stumps it in, and looks like it goes out of play off the protective netting. 12:13 left in the second, and I believe the draw is going to come back to neutral ice. There's Miner. It looks like he's a little bit fatigued. He has that typical goalie stance where he takes his left arm and just hangs it on the post. 12-13 left in the second. Last road game of the regular season. That's a potential playoff matchup. In fact, if the playoffs start today, the Grizzlies would face the Steelheads in the first round. The other playoff matchup in the Mountain Division will be Wichita and Allen. But obviously a lot of action left to be played this season, and who really knows? As any of 6 teams could make the playoffs in the Mountain Division. There's only 4 spots. Top 4 teams in each division make the playoffs. Idaho wins the draw. They'll lift it out to the Utah blue line as Domowski couldn't handle it, as James Shear gets to Luke Martin, as he'll tap it off the far boards. Grizzlies will move it out across off of Pfizer. Now Idaho gets it as they'll skeet towards their right. Franklin gets it poked away. It goes towards the Grizzlies bench as Idaho gets hit by Brandon Cutler. Steelheads have the puck left wing as they'll cross center ice and dump it in. Miner cuts off behind his net. He'll glide it towards the near side for Cutler. As Utah will backhand it out to center ice. Pass goes tape to tape as Utah gets to Steelheads territory, and they'll tap it in from neutral ice. Martin chases after it, but Idaho gets there first. Penner with a back check. He pokes it away. Now it glides out to center ice. Idaho skeets into the offensive zone. Domowski, right wing shot. Saved by Miner. Trenton holds on with 11:24 left in the second. Well, it looks like the second period, Miner's been busy, but he's certainly been up to the task as Domowski had a good look from just outside the right circle. And the thing there could have easily been a rebound off of Miner, but he's done a great job controlling his rebounds. Remember, Idaho did score the game winner on a rebound 20 seconds into overtime. Draws going to be in the right circle. A.J. White will take it. White was with the Grizzlies in the 2020-21 season. That's the year that Idaho did not play, and he was a good contributor for the Grizzlies that season. Grizzlies win the draw as Ritchie will move it ahead. Grizzlies look for Cameron Wright at the Idaho blue line. Pass gets picked off as it still heads cross center ice. They'll re-enter the zone as Cudla avoids a check as he'll nudge it across as Idaho around the net. Utah gets hit. Play starting to get physical about halfway through the scheduled 60 minutes. Hedrick on the right side. Righty shot. Saved by Miner. And he doesn't allow a rebound once again. 11:01 left in the second. And, Guy, I think Trent Miner probably didn't sleep much over the last couple days, allowing that rebound in overtime, and he's really looked sharp tonight.
He's been sharp here tonight, Tyson. He's been really busy in the second period. That's the Steelheads' 9th shot of the period. The Grizzlies have yet to take a shot on goal.
Draws give me the right circle. This time the Grizzlies win it as Kyle Mayhew skates towards the near side. He'll move it out to center ice as Nolan Ritchie dumps it in. Ritchie in his pro debut as the puck goes into the Steelhead zone. Idaho skating from left to right as White will move it to his left for Hedrick. Hedrick steps over the blue line. He'll chip a left wing pass now across to White. Right side shot. Saved by Miner. Rebound goes to Utah as Grizzlies in the transition game cross center ice. As Ritchie looks to center to bounce off a Grizzlies skate and goes back towards the near corner. As Idaho did a good job denying the pass to the slot. And as Ritchie was looking for Cameron Wright. As Idaho across center ice. Pass ahead looking for A.J. White and it's picked off by Mayhew. Kyle Mayhew looks like a smart hockey player. As Mayhew gets the puck, he'll skate down the middle. Now he'll cross the center ice logo. Mayhew gets around to Steelhead. He'll skate towards the left circle. Makes a nice move on Kanati. Mayhew skates in. Shot. Saved by Shield. But what a move by Kyle Mayhew. Just getting around all 5 Steelheads. Idaho crosses center ice. Puck still in play. We're halfway through the scheduled 60 minutes. Utah leads 1-0 as Jordan Martell scored 10:40 into the first unassisted. As Kawaguchi to the left side gets pushed along the boards by Messner. Grizzlies get the puck as they'll throw it across. Utah will cross center ice and dump it in as Fitz chases after it. Jameson's the one that dumped it in. Jameson delivers a big-time hit as Ducharme goes heels overhead. As Idaho crosses center ice, Jack Becker steps over the line. He'll skate towards the left circle. As Becker being shadowed by McDonald, throws it back to the corner that he vacated. Idaho gets it back to Becker. He fumbles the puck and loses it. As Utah will backhand it out across center ice. It's gloved by Idaho and dropped at their blue line. As they feed it across Idaho from left to right, as Jack Becker will nudge it off his stick. As Corey Thomas in neutral ice will get it, and he'll fling it in as Idaho gets it back. Still ship it out to center ice. Pass connects. Idaho to the left side as they'll fire it around the boards. Idaho in the offensive zone. 9 minutes left in the second period as they get to register. Gets around Pfizer. He'll feed it to the near goal line. Idaho gets it back towards Walker. Swings and misses. Puck goes to the right point. It stays in. Good job by Casey Johnson. As Johnson over in the right corner as he gets around a Grizzly. As he loses the puck, Shearer skates towards the far corner. They'll move it ahead. Grizzlies will carry it out across center ice. 3-on-3. Utah with a left wing chip to Penner. They're trying to get it back to the left circle, and he does. As Martin over towards Cutler, who spins it around the boards. Shearer across to Martin. One-timer. And that one goes wide. Right side, Martin gets it back. Left wing shot. Saved by Shield. As Register skates around his net, but Martin had two good looks from the left side. He'll skate off. As Idaho across center ice, 8:15 and counting left in the second. As Idaho chips it towards the far corner, chasing after its Penner. And the Iron Man will lift it in the air. It bounces at center ice and retaken by Register. Make that Patrick Kudla. He'll feed it to the far side. 8 minutes left in the second as Idaho lifts it in. It rolls in the right corner as it's snapped towards Terran Pfizer. Pfizer moves ahead towards Ritchie. Ritchie at neutralized gets dragged down. No call. The officials are letting him play tonight. As Idaho gets around a Grizzly, they'll skeet towards the right circle. Kudla, right wing shot, saved by Minor. Rebound goes out to the far side as Grizzlies will carry it across center. 2-on-2. Grizzlies chip it down the middle for Ritchie. He looks like he's got good hands. He's to the left side, takes a shot and didn't get much on it as Domowski cut in front of him. Domowski gets the puck across center ice. He'll chip it towards the near side. Grizzlies poke it back to center. Head to Koreaner from the left side. So he'll chip it towards the point. Lefty shot gets blocked as Messner moves it ahead. As Grizzlies cross center, they've got the puck as the Rooster skates towards the left circle. He'll take a shot, saved by Shield. Rebound out in front, and puck's still in play. As Idaho pokes it back towards the high slot, Martell gets it back. Martell skates towards the left circle. He's towards the corner, gets to Messner. One-timer goes wide. As the puck goes to Idaho on the far side, as now they're behind their own goal lines, they'll chip it from one corner to the other. Less than 7 minutes left in the second period. Utah still leads 1-0 as the Steelheads clear it out. What great action at Idaho Central Arena as Connor McDonald from his own zone throws it back to the Idaho blue line. Pass doesn't connect. Idaho back towards the near side. They get the puck as they'll throw it across. Picked off by Messner. Makes his first name as Idaho chips it back towards center ice. Regathered by the Grizzlies who try to re-enter from the right side. It's poked away again as now the Grizzlies have it in their own end. As Utah skating from right to left, will get it out to center ice for Jamison, who fumbles it. He'll feed it to his right. Grizzlies enter the zone as Fitz skates towards the corner. As he'll stop as he's being shadowed by Heiskanen. As Fitz gets up top looking for Thomas. Thomas gets it. He'll take a left wing shot, and it goes wide as it tapped off the end boards and glides towards the far side. Jared Power delivers a hit on Becker, who moves it to center ice. Idaho dumps it in. Minor lets it go towards Pfizer. He's in the near side. Pfizer gets the puck. He leads Utah with 25 goals this season. He'll throw it out to center ice looking for Jamison. Jamison gets it. He'll skeet towards the right wing, cross center ice, and dump it in. As it bounced off a Register, who gathers the puck. He has good hands. Register could be a future Hall of Famer in this league. He'll throw it to his right for Becker, who drops it off for Murphy. Right wing shot, saved by Minor. Rebound kicks towards the right corner on the near side as Murphy in the attack zone. One-on-one battle with Cutler. Murphy will bounce it off a Grizzly, and that's James Shearer. As puck goes back to the right corner, Utah gets tripped up, no call. As the Grizzlies get it, they move it ahead towards Cutler. Cutler at the Utah blue line will skate down the middle. He crosses center ice. Cutler skates in from the left side. He gets held up by Register. No call. Cutler skates in. Left circle. Shot. Saved by Shield. Great effort by Brandon Cutler to even get something. Pfizer across to Cutler. One-timer. Saved by Shield from the right side. As Cutler gets it back in the right wing. He's more towards the point. Gets across to Pfizer. Swings and misses from the near goal line. Pfizer gets it back. He'll nudge it up top for Martin, who gets it across to Cutler in the right circle. Cutler fires towards the net. Saved by Shield. Rebound goes to right. I tried to kick it out in front on a wraparound. Idaho clears it out. The Steelhead gets tripped up in the high slot. And looks like that one's going to get called. As touching up is Kyle Mayhew. It looks like Idaho's going to be on the power play when we come back. As Terran Pfizer skates towards the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. 2 minutes for tripping. 4:52 left in the first period. It's the Grizzlies 1 and Idaho nothing. Steelheads will be on the power play when we come back on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Taryn Pfizer's in the box, 2 minutes for tripping as Idaho's on the power play for the second time this evening. Pfizer, the native of Alberta, as the Grizzlies, they're outshot 9-0 to start the second period, but the Grizzlies have really battled back over the last few minutes.
Yeah, Tyson, it seems like from the last time out to now, the Grizzlies have really turned it on. Shots were once 9-0 in favor of the Steelheads. Now it's 12-7 in favor of Idaho.
Steelheads win the draw. They begin the power play as they get it to Hedrick. High slot. Righty shot goes wide on a one-timer as Ducharme in the left point will throw it back to the corner. As Idaho's got one of the top power play units in the league, they'll get it to Hedrick in the high slide. He'll feed it to the left circle. Now across to Domowski. He'll take a shot, and it's blocked by Thomas. Grizzlies get it and clear it out. Good job by Corey Thomas, getting some revenge on his former team. Domowski had a good look from the right side, but Thomas blocked it as Idaho skates around their net. They'll feed it out to center ice. 4:20 and counting left in the second. Utah leads 1-0 as Idaho with the left wing pass. They'll step over the blue line and spin it along the wall. Grizzlies trying to clear it out. Hedrick cuts it off in the right point. He'll throw it towards the near corner as Idaho gets it back up top for Hedrick. He'll skate towards his left. He'll feed it to the left side, left circle. Couple of shots saved by Minor. Rebound. Grizzlies clear it out. As Utah doing a good job protecting the crease tonight as it glides towards Adam Scheel. Less than 4 minutes left in the second period and halfway through Idaho's second power play of the game as Owen Hedrick skates down the middle. Grizzlies made a line change as Hedrick will cross center ice. Now he'll skate in from the right side as he gets around Penner. Hedrick around the net, gets poked away by Mayhew. It kicks out in front. Grizzlies get it and clear it out. As Adam Scheel is in the far circle as he's out of his net, and he'll drop it off as Kawaguchi moves out to center ice. It's taken by Niram. We'll throw it back to Register across the center ice. He'll chip it to his left. It ricochets off the boards. Idaho's entered the zone. Murphy gets up top for Register. He'll take a lefty shot and it goes wide. Puck glides along the near boards. Idaho gets it back for Register. He'll fake a shot and glide it to his right for Kawaguchi. Now back to Register. He'll feed it to his left. One-timer, and it's blocked. Now it goes to the right side for Kawaguchi. Up top for Register. Back to Kawaguchi, who's got 26 goals this season. He'll throw it to the near goal line. White with a shot, saved by Minor. Murphy gets it in the far side. He'll chip it across to Kawaguchi. Now up top for Register. Back to White. He'll take a shot, saved by Minor. 2:48 left in the second. I think that was Murphy that took that shot, and Minor made the save. As they show a replay, Kawaguchi to Register, back towards Murphy. And looked like it kicked off a Grizzly and went out of play or something like that. As Trent Minor's done the job in net. What a second period for the Grizzlies, who have held on to this 1-0 lead.
Trent Minor has been phenomenal, Tyson. I mean, up until this point, he's the number one star of the game. I mean, he's just been fantastic, making save after save, keeping the Grizzlies in this game. There was a point in time earlier on in the second period where the Steelers were just throwing everything into Trent Minor's kitchen, and he shut everything out. And now the Grizzlies seem to have been able to take that and pick up some momentum. Had a few good scoring chances before the penalty kill, and then they were able to come away with a strong penalty kill there. So great segment for the Grizzlies. Trent Minor's been fantastic.
Idaho has outshot Utah 28-20. Both teams had 13 shots in the first period. Idaho has 15 shots in the second. Utah was 7, but as Guy mentioned, at one point it was 9-0 Steelheads to start the second period. So the Grizzlies really have responded. Adam Scheel has stopped 19 of 20 for Idaho, and Trent Minor has stopped all 28. He has seen good pro debut so far for Nolan Ritchie, who's a +1. So is Jordan Martell, who has the only goal in the game, and that was unassisted. 10:40 into the first period. Draws give me in the far side as we're back to 5-on-5 skating. It's the second successful Utah disaster cleanup penalty kill of the game. As Utah this season, 78.8% on the penalty kill. Draw won by Idaho as Zach Walker gets up top for Nick Canati, wearing number 3. He'll glide it to his left. Now back to Walker in the far corner. He'll get back up top as Idaho fumbled the puck and it goes out to center ice. The Steelheads will have to reset. Canati turns it over. Left wing, Grizzlies enter the offensive zone. They'll stop along the near boards as Cameron Wright fires it around the net. Rooster couldn't handle it as it goes back to Idaho as they'll carry it out to center ice. Grizzlies back defensively. Idaho skates towards the left circle. Lefty shot, saved by Minor. As Grizzlies get it to Martell. As they'll cross center ice, they'll veer off to the left. Martell with a left wing chip over to Martin. Martin, but everybody stopped skating. Looked like the Grizzlies were called for offside. Well, if they're onside there, Martin could have skated towards his right and had a pretty good look from the slot, or he could have found a way to find Martell cutting in front of the net. 2:12 is left in the second period as the Eagle Eye linesman called offsides on the play, Eric Landquist and Scott DeBois are the linesmen. Trent Miner's been busy so far, but he's handled his own. The former 7th-round pick of the Colorado Avalanche back in 2019. Draw near the Grizzlies bench, and it gets kicked over to Idaho. Idaho wins the draw as they skate from left to right here in the second period as the Steelheads cross center ice, and they dump it in. McDonald chases after. He's paired up with Thomas here. Now McDonald over to Thomas. Now to Dylan Fitz along the near boards. He'll chip it across to McDonald, who gets it in the far side. He's still in the Grizzlies zone and moving out to center ice. Grizzlies try to dump it in. Idaho picks it off at their blue line as they'll cross center ice. The Steelheads skate towards their right with speed. Idaho around the net. Ducharme loses it. Good back check by the Grizzlies. They'll get it back over to Jamison, who's got a point in 7 straight entering tonight. He'll fire a rink-wide pass. It ricochets off the far boards. Now it gets kicked to register as the Steelheads back deep in their own zone. As behind the net is Casey Johnson, number 13. Johnson skates down the middle. He's being challenged by Cutler. He'll throw a right-left wing pass as Idaho dumps it in. As Miner stays in front of his net, 1:20 and counting left in the second. Utah leads 1-0. As the Grizz feed it out into Steelheads territory, they'll dump it in from neutral ice. They dumped it down the middle, and it's picked off by Register, who lifts it into the air. It's taken at the Utah blue line as the Grizzlies will slice it out to center ice, and it goes past everybody, and icing is on Utah with 1 minute and 1 second left in the second period as the draw is going to come back towards Trent Miner. It's important here in the final minute of the second period to not let Idaho get any sort of momentum heading into the locker room.
And the Grizzlies did a good job of doing that in the first period, Tyson. It seemed like on Wednesday that was one of the failing points for the Grizzlies in that game, is they let Idaho have 2 goals late in the first period. But here in this game, they did a good job of tightening up defensively and keeping Idaho off the board in the first period. They need to do that here again in the second.
Draw won by the Steelheads. We'll steer it out to the left point. Kudla fakes a shot. Now he'll throw it out towards A.J. White, but the Grizzlies poke it out to center ice. A.J. White, the Steelheads captain, will glide it across to Hedrick. We'll throw it back to White. The Steelheads captain will throw it to the far side as Idaho chips it across. At neutral ice, Idaho dumps it in from just outside the blue line as Mayhew throws it across. Looking forward to seeing Kyle Mayhew in person tomorrow as the Grizzlies clear it out to center. Taken back by Idaho in their own end. 30 seconds left in the second. Great defensive effort by the Grizzlies so far tonight. Rink-wide pass doesn't connect as chasing after it's Mayhew, who's looking like he's displaying good speed. He'll throw it to the far side as the Grizzlies cross center, and they'll dish it out towards Pfizer, who couldn't reach it. Now Idaho skates towards the left circle. Domowski gets it poked away by Mayhew, and the Grizzlies will throw it out to neutral ice as Ritchie skates in. He'll drop it off on the left side for Wright. Wright skates towards the near goal line, trying to chip it out in front. Idaho pokes it back towards the corner. And time runs out on both clubs here in the second period. As neither team scored in the middle frame, Idaho had a little bit of a shot advantage, but the Grizzlies have held strong with a really solid defensive effort by Trent Miner, and really a great defensive effort by the 6th defenseman, and the forwards playing a good two-way game. As Utah leads after 2 periods, they've only lost once this season in situations where they've led after 2. In fact, the Grizzlies' record is 24-1. when leading after 2 periods. But we got a barn burner over at Idaho Central Arena as Utah leads 1-0. And when we come back in 2 minutes, Guy Chiarenza will quarterback our second intermission coverage. We'll go over some scores from around the Mountain Division, and Guy will recap the first 2 periods of play. Once again, the score after 2 periods, it's Utah Grizzlies 1 and the Idaho Steelheads 0. The Rio Tinto Kennecott Intermission Report starts in 2 minutes on the Utah Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverik, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. and I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Maverik's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
Welcome back to the Grizzlies Hockey Network. It's the Grizzlies 1 and the Steelheads nothing after 40 minutes of play. This is the Rio Tinto Kennecott second intermission report here on the Grizzlies Hockey Network. I'm Guy Chiarenza alongside Tyson Whiting. We're chilling here in the Maverik Center lobby waiting for the Grizzlies to come back here Saturday night as they'll cap off the final game of a 3-game set against the Steelheads. Grizzlies are currently over in Idaho at Idaho Central Arena. The only goal of the game so far came 10:40 in to the first period. It came courtesy of Jordan Martell. Who else would it be? Getting his 16th goal of the year, and that was unassisted. So the only player in this game with a point so far is the Rooster. Shots after one period of play were dead even, 13 on both sides. But in the second period, Idaho had the edge 15-7. But you got to think at one point it was 9-0 in favor of the Steelheads. The Grizzlies were able to rally back and climb back into it. And at the end of two, shots are 28-20 in favor of the Steelheads. Grizzlies have not had a power play chance, but their penalty kill has been solid as Idaho is 0 for 2 on the power play. Utah still looking for their first power play chance. That's something that we really want to see now that Luke Martin is back in a Grizzlies uniform. But it looks like we'll have to wait for that as the Steelheads are quite a disciplined team. Trent Miner's been fantastic so far in this game, stopping 28 of 28. And Adam Scheel is in net for the Steelheads. He's having a phenomenal season in his own right, posting a record of 26-7-1 on the season. And so he's got a two goals against average and .930 save percentage, but the Grizzlies have found a way to sneak one past him tonight. Tyson, you think about goaltending, it's valuable. It's a valuable asset. You look at the last few Stanley Cup champions, they all have a really great goalie in net. And so for the Grizzlies looking to improve on their Western Conference final appearance, they got a good one in Trent Miner.
Yeah, they got a good one in Miner. Looks like he's got his A game tonight. And knowing the work ethic that Trent Miner has, I imagine that, he really kicked himself over what happened on Wednesday night. He played a solid game, but 20 seconds into overtime, let in a rebound that bounced off his pads, and then Ty Pelton-Bice was able to put it away for the game winner. And, that had to have been eating over Miner over the last 48 hours. And he's really responded with a good game. And I really think the defensive effort's been outstanding. As you think about that area in front of the net, that crease, that real estate that we always talk about, that, that valuable piece of property there out in front of the goaltender on either side. I think the Grizzlies have done an outstanding job boxing out Idaho and not letting them get those rebounds. Miner's done a good job with rebound control, but there have been a couple times where the puck's kind of glided along the crease there, and the Grizzlies have done a good job boxing out Idaho skaters to allow Trent Miner to get some time to cover up the puck and stop play. And so you got to think about guys like James Shearer and Luke Martin. Those guys have been outstanding, and I really think that Corey Thomas has been a big addition since returning to the lineup last week, as he missed about a month and a half due to an injury, and he's really come back and performed well. And as always, I think the captain, Connor McDonald, he's a +10 this season. There's a reason for it. He seems to always be in the right place at the right time, especially out in front of the net. And I've been really impressed with the defensive combination of Aaron Tho and Kyle Mayhew, and I'm really looking forward to seeing Mayhew in person for the first time tomorrow night at Maverik Center, because he looks like he's not only has good speed, but he also looks like a guy who makes good decisions with the puck. And offensively, it seems like he can capitalize. He had one opportunity there on the left side where it looked like he skated around all 5 Steelheads and had a good look from the left circle. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what Kyle Mayhew does, not only tomorrow night at Maverik Center, but what he does the rest of the season, because he looks like he's going to be a keeper.
Yeah, he seems like he's the real deal. Got a good head on his shoulders, making really smart decisions. You think about the defensemen that the Grizzlies have gained throughout the course of the season. I thought early on in the season, the Grizzlies really lacked some offensive defensemen. In the first part of the season, the Grizzlies weren't getting a lot of scoring, not a lot of help from their D-men. But now you add Luke Martin back to the defensive lineup. Get a guy like Kyle Mayhew. Aaron Tho seems to have turned it on offensively as of late. I like to see defensemen taking some risks. And so I really think that helps you out offensively, especially when you're struggling to score. And the Grizzlies got just that. And so you add those guys to this lineup. I think we're going to see a boost in scoring, which we've already seen since the Grizzlies seem to be taking more shots. And really, the Grizzlies have done a good job, as you mentioned, of just keeping players out of the crease. You never want to see an all-out buffet out in front of the net where players are on the opposing team are just having their business in front of the net. The Grizzlies defense did a really good job of keeping the kitchen closed and making things relatively easy for Trent Miner, although Trent Miner has had some really great saves in this game. And that's exactly what you need, is a goaltender that will make a save when a save is needed and then some. You want a guy that gives you a chance to win. And so Miner's doing that, but the Grizzlies defense is helping him out a lot.
It's been a good defensive battle for both sides. Adam Shields looked good in net, and the Grizzlies had an outstanding effort from Trent Miner. It'll be interesting to see who comes out on top in the third period, but it could be the third period and then some, with the way these teams have played. And I think you have to feel good if you're a Grizzlies fan going toe-to-toe with the team with the best record in the league, a team that's battling for the all-time wins record in league history in the regular season. And it looks like through 5 periods and 20 minutes of overtime here in this series, the Grizzlies are really going toe-to-toe, and it looks like they're holding their own.
Yeah, Tyson, and I think that's what made the Cincinnati series so disappointing, is that the Grizzlies, I thought, really played well against Cincinnati for the most part. They just weren't able to get the edge in the end. And out of those 3 games, they came away with 0 out of 6 standings points. And so the next thing was, well, you look at the schedule. Well, now you got Idaho. Can you find a way to go toe-to-toe with the Steelheads and pick up some points, pick up some wins maybe? The Grizzlies really have played great throughout the course of this series up until this point. You're right. They've gone toe-to-toe with the best team in the league, their biggest rivals. And they've been right there. And I think for the most part of this series, the Grizzlies have outplayed the Steelheads. It's just all about, can you find a way when the buzzer sounds at the end of the game, have the lead and win the game? Grizzlies came up just short on Wednesday night, but so far things are looking in the Grizzlies' favor.
Obviously, in a tough goaltender like Adam Shields, it's going to be tough to get goals against him. Goals are going to be at a premium anytime you face the Steelheads, who have a team save percentage of about .930. That's where the Grizzlies got to battle, get in front of those dirty areas and really work to get in those spots to get those goals. And that's where guys like Cameron Wright and the blue-collar effort that he's brought all season long, as well as Dylan Fitz and Tyler Penner and Brandon Cutler, that's where those guys are going to have to come up big against the Steelheads. But it should be a fun third period. When we come back to the Rio Tinto Kennecott Intermission Report, we'll go over the Mountain Division standings. It looks like a pretty good night in terms of where the Grizzlies stand. And a couple teams the Grizzlies needed to lose, did lose. We'll tell you who won and who lost in the Mountain Division when we come back in 1 minute, as Utah leads 1-0 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
Welcome back. Second intermission. Grizzlies are over at Idaho Central Arena. Guy and I are hanging out in the lobby at Maverik Center, just having a good time. It's the final road game of the regular season for the Grizzlies. Utah has a better than 500-point percentage on the road. They're 16, 15, and 4 away from Maverik Center. Some other games involving Mountain Division opponents. Rapid City defeated Wichita 6-3, a game that saw Matt Marcineau score 2 goals. Looked like Jimmy Soper also found the back of the net, as did Logan Nelson. And Brett Gravel and Quinn Wickers also scored goals for the Rapid City Rush, who now have 68 standings points, which is tied with Utah for fourth place in the Mountain Division. And it's a three-way tie as Kansas City loses to Tulsa 4-2. So Tulsa's out of the playoff picture, but they can end up being a tough team for the Grizzlies next week, as Tulsa proved to be tough tonight as they got goals from Eddie Matsushima, Tag Bertuzzi, along with Jackson Leaf and Kyle Boudreas. Boudreas ended up as the number one star of the game as he had 1 goal and 1 assist and was a +1. Daniel Manella got the start in net for Tulsa. He stopped 27 of 29. So that's big for the Grizzlies, as Utah is still tied with Kansas City and now Rapid City for fourth place in the Mountain Division. The Grizzlies do have the tiebreaker against both teams. Allen defeated Savannah 6-2. So with Wichita losing 6-3 tonight, Allen takes over second place by themselves by 1 point in the Mountain Division. That graphic they show on Flow Sports is outdated, as Allen is a victor tonight. They now have 71 standings points, are in second place by themselves. The tiebreaker rules, as we sit in the Mountain Division, the tiebreaker rules of 2 teams tie. The first tiebreaker is regulation wins. Well, the Grizzlies coming into play tonight have 27 regulation wins. That's the third most in the Mountain Division. Idaho has 49, and Allen, with the victory tonight, has 28 regulation wins against, as they beat Savannah tonight. So 28 regulation wins for Allen, 27 for the Grizzlies. Kansas City has 25 regulation wins. That's the same amount that Rapid City has, and Wichita 23 regulation wins. So it's big to win in regulation because that's the number one tiebreaker in the league. The second tiebreaker is regulation and overtime wins. The Grizzlies have 30. That isn't necessarily a category that favors the Grizzlies nearly as much, as Allen and Wichita both have that tiebreaker over the Grizzlies. And so regulation wins is the number one tiebreaker they look at. Regulation plus overtime wins is the second tiebreaker. And if it's still tied after that, if both teams are equal in the first two categories, goal differential is the third category. And if we're still tied after that, then we might as well just throw our hands in the air and just say, forget it. You teams are just that much more even than you might as well just settle on the ice and play a 1-game series, find a neutral site or something like that. But, guys, critical of the Grizzlies do have the third most regulation wins in the division, because outside of Idaho and Allen, that could end up being a difference there come April 15th, the final game of the regular season.
It's big, Tyson. I mean, everything counts. I mean, all the little things. I mean, you just went down the whole list. It might just be one thing for the Grizzlies that goes in their favor. Right now, it is those regulation wins. I think about Allen jumping the second place in the division with 71 points. Wichita's 2 points ahead of the Grizzlies with 70. But right now, I think the big thing for the Grizzlies is that Wichita only has 2 games left. And the Grizzlies, after this, would have 4 games remaining. So I think about this game, you have that combined 5 games left. That's big for the Grizzlies. So if you find a way to just continue winning games, you can take that Thunder spot and be okay. But look out for the Rapid City Rush. They're now tied with the Grizzlies. You now have a 3-way tie for fourth between Utah, Rapid City, and Kansas City. And as you mentioned, Utah does own that tiebreaker. But the easiest thing to do is just keep winning games. And right now, the Grizzlies are looking hungry. And so I think there's a good chance that they do continue to win games down the stretch.
Now remember, Rapid City has 3 games left in the regular season. All 3 of them are against the Idaho Steelheads. Now, I think that all 3 games are going to be in Rapid City, but obviously they're taking on a historically good Steelheads team. And so advantage Grizzlies there. But as we saw tonight in the scoreboard watch, it looks like Tulsa is not going to be an easy out as they win 4-2 against Kansas City tonight.
Do not take the Tulsa Oilers lightly. I think there's nothing more dangerous than a team that's eliminated and you're pushing for the playoffs, and just it's so easy to just write them off as, yeah, that's an easy 6 points. We can get that sweep. It's so easy to just do that. It's so easy to just overlook your opponent. But I mean, the Oilers, they're going to want to come in and play spoiler. We saw them do it here tonight against Kansas City. Kansas City desperately needed those points. Yep. And the Oilers came out and they won that game. So for the Grizzlies, I think we've been saying this for a while now. It's just you got to take every single game at face value. The Grizzlies have done a really good job of doing that. I don't have really any concerns for that, but the Grizzlies just need to come into that game knowing you can't take the Oilers lightly.
When we come back in 90 seconds, we'll have third period action over at Idaho Central Arena as Utah leads 1-0. The only goal in the game was scored by Jordan Martell, who scored unassisted 10:40 into the first period. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
Maverik's new bean-to-cup machines always deliver a freshly ground cup of coffee on demand, so you can enjoy any of our premium roasts at their best, day or night, hot or iced. Enjoy a fresh cup today.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverik, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account.
So the Utah Grizzlies social media account says spot the difference. One photo is Trent Miner, the other is a brick wall. Well, Trent stopped all 15 shots in the second period. Should be interesting to see how the third period goals. Both teams had 13 shots in the first period, and Idaho outshot Utah 15-7 in the second. Guy, it's just a one-goal lead for Utah, and Idaho is one of those teams they can get 30. They can get their fair share of scoring chances. What do the Grizzlies need to do in the third period to secure victory?
Well, Trent Miner's been great so far tonight, Tyson, but the Grizzlies defense needs to continue to make things easy for him. And for the Grizzlies, I thought for the first half of that second period, they spent way too much time in their own zone. Right off the rip to start this third period, the Grizzlies need to be ready. They need to be hungry again and play with that energy. And really, if the Grizzlies continue to play with that energy and just keep the puck in the Idaho zone, offense is the best defense, and another insurance goal wouldn't hurt. So the Grizzlies got to play hungry.
20 shots for the Grizzlies tonight. Brandon Cutler has 4, Taryn Pfizer 3 as the puck is dropped. We're underway in the third period. Idaho skating from right to left as we see it on Flow Sports. Your mind's eye see it on YouTube. As they lift it high into the air, Grizzlies dump it back into the offensive zone. As Fitz chasing after it, he collides in the corner with a Steelhead. Nick Canati spins along the boards. Jamison cuts it off. Grizzlies float it to the right side for McDonald. He'll take a right point shot that goes wide as the puck goes back to Idaho as the Steelheads will move it ahead. Goes towards Domowski. He gets spun around by Mayhew, who will tap it off the far glass. It bounces at center ice. Idaho gets it in their own zone. 35 seconds into the third period. Utah leads 1-0 as the Grizzlies make their first line change of the third period. As Matt Register behind his net will chip it to the near side as Idaho will carry it out to center ice. Casey Johnson crosses center from the left wing and he'll dump it in. Miner behind his net will throw it towards the far side. Idaho cuts it off in the corner. Steelheads around Utah's net. They feed it out in front. Goes past Penner. Right wing shot. Saved by Miner. Trent holds on. 59 seconds into the third period. He stops the first shot he saw in the third period as Jack Becker fed it out in front. Penner tried to clear it out. It bounced to a Steelhead. And luckily, Trent was in the right place at the right time. Trosky in the far circle. Jade Miller looks on from the right side as draw one by the Grizzlies. They get it to Taryn Pfizer. Tapped it off the skate of a Steelhead as it goes to the left point. Idaho feeds it to the far near corner as Shearer glides it across. Grizzlies will carry it across center 2-on-4 as they chip it towards Pfizer. It gets hit along the far side. Penner skates over there. So does Brandon Cutler as the puck glides towards the right corner as Idaho's Jade Miller gets it. As he's to the near side, he'll throw it across. Idaho still on their own end as Register gets to the Utah blue line to blue line pass connects as Idaho tries to drop it off, and it's picked off by Penner. He'll get to Pfizer across the center ice, and they'll lift it in as the Grizzlies make a line change. In his pro debut, Nolan Ritchie is chasing after it. He was the captain of the Brandon Wheat Kings earlier this season, completing a WHL career. Right point shot saved by Miner as Idaho skates around the net. Still heads to the right side. Get it up top for Hedrick. One-timer from the right wing. Saved by Miner again. Rebound goes out to the far side. His right will chip it out to the right point. Hedrick gets pushed out of the zone as Grizzlies get the puck because they'll skeet towards the Idaho blue line. Getting it taken away was Kyle Mayhew as it goes towards the left side. Idaho enters the zone as White chips ahead, and it's taken away by the Rooster. Now to Cameron Wright to the right side. He'll throw it back to the Rooster. It bounced off his skate, and Idaho clears it out to center. McDonald moves out to the center ice logo for Wright, who throws it back to the Grizzlies zone for Thomas. Thomas chips it ahead. Idaho's outshot Utah 3-0 so far in the third period, as Idaho has outshot the Grizzlies 31-20. Nick Canati back behind his net. He's got Zach Walker cutting to his left as Canati will move a pass north-south. Pass connects. Ty Pelton by skates down the middle. Take a shot. Saved by Minor. Now goes back to Zach Walker. Left side shot. Saved by Minor again. As Haskinen rolls it along the boards. As Corey Thomas drags down a Steelhead. You got to imagine a call is going to be made there. As Canati left point shot is blocked. No call was made. As Fitz out to center ice, crosses the red line and dumps it in. As Jamison chases after it, Shield plays it behind his net. He'll glide it towards the near side and goes back to center ice. Idaho 2-on-2. Zach Walker flies to the left circle, looking for a shot, and it's poked away by Martin. Now Franklin behind the goal line loses it as Martin gets to Dylan Fitz, who moves it ahead as the Grizzlies cross center ice. As Messner crosses center, he gets poked away at neutral ice, trying to get it back, and it goes back into Grizzlies territory as it's nudged towards Shearer. As Fitz trying to locate it, as it glides towards the far corner. Idaho gathers it first. As they skate around Utah's net, they feed it to the near corner, and they'll tap it off the boards for Johnson. But we get a whistle as looks like the net gets dislodged out on Utah's side. That's kind of an odd one. I haven't seen the net get dislodged that way with that particular angle. 16:31 left in the third as Utah leads 1-0. Pretty good action here to start the third.
What a fun game, Tyson. Really, we've been on the edge of our seats all night long. And really, I mean, we've already got our playoff beers. This is a playoff-type atmosphere. And the Grizzlies going on the road in Idaho Central Arena, not just tonight, but on Wednesday as well, have been up to the task. It feels like a playoff game, and the Grizzlies are playing like a playoff team.
16:21 left in the third period. Draw is going to be at neutral ice. Jack Becker will take it for Idaho against Tyler Penner, the Grizzlies Iron Man. As draw won by Becker and the Steelheads, but it goes between the two defensemen up top as they'll have to chase after it deep in the Steelhead zone. Idaho skating from right to left in the third period as Idaho behind their net will feed it to the near side as the Steelheads being challenged by Penner. Penner takes it away from the right side off, but the referee is going to call a penalty as Casey Johnson went down on the near boards, and Penner is going to get called 2 minutes for tripping. So Idaho is going to get their third power play of the contest, and the Grizzlies have yet to go on the power play. Utah did catch a break as it looked like Corey Thomas dragged down a Steelhead behind Utah's net a couple minutes ago, but Tyler Penner couldn't get away with a trip. And for the second time tonight, he's in the Rogers and Russell Legal Solutions holding cell. Johnson lost his balance. Penner's stick was in the way, I guess. One of those where if you're Utah, you wish it wouldn't have been called, but the Winnipeg, Manitoba native, Tyler Penner, who spent training camp with the Manitoba Moose, is serving 2 minutes. There's a draw won by Idaho as Kudla glides it across to Hedrick. Right side shot goes wide as the puck glides along the near boards to Kudla. It will skeet towards his right as he switches places with Hedrick. Kudla fakes a shot. Now he'll get to Hedrick, and it bounces off the boards. Hedrick will feed it to the corner as Hedrick goes down. Cameron Wright in the area as delayed offside. Idaho re-enters the zone. The linesman says offside was called. 15:41 left in the third. That was an interesting battle there on the left side as Hedrick and Wright kind of dragged each other to the ice. But offside is called as the draw is going to come back to neutral ice. 15:41 left in the third. 1:37 left in Idaho's power play. It's still 1-0 Grizzlies. The only goal scored by Jordan Martell. 10:40 into the first period. It was unassisted. Grizzlies win the draw. McDonald will clear it out. As it still had skating from right to left as Kudla gets it from Shields. He skates around Shields' net. Kudla's got good speed as he gets to neutral ice. He crosses center. He veers off to the left as he skates towards the corner as he tries to get around McDonald. Kudla looks to center. It bounced off a Grizzlies stick. It glides towards the far point. Grizzlies will slice it all the way towards Adam Shield. Pfizer gets it off the end boards. He skates around Idaho's net. Pfizer 1-on-4. He gets dragged down. Idaho takes the puck. They cross center. Idaho skates down the middle. Domowski towards the left side. Gets up top for Kudla, who throws it back to the high slot. Now to the left side. Now back to Hedrick. He'll feed it to the right side. Idaho, right wing. Shot. Saved by Minor. As Trent holds on. 53 seconds left in Idaho's power play. Draw is going to be in the Grizzlies zone. Looks like Idaho's had their chances, but they've yet to score on Minor.
They have had their chances, Tyson, but Minor, what a game he's having, has been an absolute brick wall. He's been up to the task so far, but the Grizzlies' penalty kill has also done a nice job here tonight.
53 seconds left in Idaho's third power play of the game. Utah's yet to go on the man advantage. As it draws to the far side, Keaton Jamison will take it for Utah. He's got a 7-game point scoring streak on the line. He had an assist in the first period on Wednesday night that was originally given to the two newest Grizzlies, Mick Messner and Kyle Mayhew. As a draw won by the Grizzlies. Taken away, it's Kawaguchi on a good defensive play. As Idaho will get it up top for Register. Now to Kawaguchi to the left side. He'll chip it to the near goal line. Now down the middle towards White, who fumbles the puck. This goes back to the left side for Kawaguchi. He'll skate towards his right. He'll drift it to Register along the near boards. Back to Kawaguchi in the slot. As he'll skate towards his left, Kawaguchi gets to the near goal line. Now back to Kawaguchi, who glides it up top for Register, who skates towards his right. Now back to Kawaguchi. As he's left circle, take a lefty shot, and it goes wide. Puck glides off the end boards and goes back to Idaho. Register on the right point, takes a lefty shot, and is saved by Minor. Rebound out in front. Idaho's shot goes wide on the second look. Grizzlies get it and clear it out. Shield behind his net plays it as the Grizzlies do a good job here for the third straight penalty kill. Coming out of the box is Tyler Penner right now, and it's a Utah disaster cleanup successful penalty kill. Right wing shot saved by Minor. Rebound goes to Luke Martin, and he'll clear it to Dylan Fitz. Rink wide pass to the left. Grizzlies connect. Utah skates towards the left circle as a Grizzly gets dragged down to the far goal line. No calls made as the puck goes back to center. Luke Martin gets it. He'll skate back towards the Utah blue line over to Shearer, who moves it towards Messner, who tried to nudge it back ahead for Fitz and passes wide of the mark. As Idaho skates towards the offensive line, whistle blows. The Steelheads are offside. Idaho has outshot Utah 9-0 here in the third period and 37-20 for the game, but it's still 1-0 Utah. Timeout on the ice, 13:38 left in the third. This is the Grizzlies Hockey Network. Utah still leads 1-0, guys. It's been an outstanding effort by Utah defensively, but Idaho already 9 shots here in the third period.
It's been a battle here, Tyson, in this game. You got to feel like the next goal, if there is another goal in this game, is going to be huge. For the Grizzlies, you got to find a way to keep the puck out of your own net and maybe get that next one and get that insurance marker.
Idaho wins the draw at neutral ice as they'll chip it towards the near side looking for Jade Miller. He gets a piece of it as it goes behind Utah's net as Minor will glide it towards the far corner. Now Idaho, right point shot is blocked. Grizzlies come back the other way. Utah skates towards the left circle. Righty shot. Saved by Shield. Might have gone wide. It's tough to track shots sometimes on this video feed. As Miller moves it ahead, Idaho steps over the blue line as Becker throws towards the slot. Now back towards Miller, who glides along the boards with a Grizzly. Now up top to the left point for Hedrick, who glides it across. Right side, lefty shot. And it hits off a Grizzly. Now Hedrick, right side shot's blocked. And it glides towards Jared Power, who battles at center ice. Taking the puck is Zach Walker. He'll fling it towards his right. Idaho gets to the offensive blue line and dumps it towards the near corner. Now Utah gets the Power. It gets around to Steelhead. He falls down. No call on the play. Or is there? Everybody stopped skating. The referee took a spill, and the referee tells somebody to go to the penalty box. Ryan Domowski looks like he doesn't like it, but looks like Utah's finally going to get a power play tonight. Tripping is going to be the call, and it looks like Jared Power drew the penalty. So he tried to get around Domowski, and Domowski tripped up Power, and looked like Power tripped up the referee. And as he was falling down, the referee made the call and said, on his backside, the referee said, "You tripping." Good job by John Linder, who called the penalty from his backside.
Well, I think the ref definitely took that personally, but it is a penalty. Power was just trying to squeeze his way along the far side boards, got pinched in between Domowski and the ref. Power takes a tumble, and the Grizzlies head to their first power play of the game. Finally, And now I'm interested to see what this Grizzlies power play unit will look like. You got to think that Luke Martin's going to be a big part of it. Yeah, I think he's going to be quarterbacking things on the blue line.
12:42 left in the third. Utah's on the power play. They were 0 for 1 last night, 17.7% this season. Draw one by the Steelheads, and they'll clear it out. As Trent Miner to the side of his net, we'll get it to Luke Martin. He's quarterbacking this power play. He'll glide it across as Utah over in the corner. Cutler back towards Martin. Turnover. Idaho skates in. Shot and a score. As A.J. White scores, as Utah turned the puck over out in front of the crease. The Steelheads captain gets his 20th of the year as he high-fives everybody on the Idaho bench. And we're tied at 1 as the Grizzlies turned it over in their own end, and White didn't have much to do except for find a shooting angle to get past Trent Miner.
That's what the Steelheads do best, Tyson. When you make a mistake, you know that they're going to pounce on it. And in a 1-0 game, everything is amplified. Even the slightest mistake can go the other way. Just so happens for the Grizzlies, when they make that mistake, the Steelheads are there to pounce on it. Now it's a tie game. How will the Grizzlies rally back here?
It's the 13th shorthanded goal allowed by the Grizzlies this season. As draw's going to be at center ice, it's the Grizzlies 1 and Idaho 1 as White scores. We believe it's unassisted. 12:27 left in the third, and it is unassisted. Both goals in this game have been unassisted. Martell 10:40 into the first period, and White 7:33 into the third. Idaho wins the draw. They'll skate towards the near side. Utah still on the power play for the next minute 37. Now near side, shot saved by Miner on a sharp angle as Idaho throws it back to center ice as Casey Johnson to the left wing crosses center. He'll enter the offensive zone, skates towards the left circle, take a shot, blocker saved by Miner. Puck flips towards the near side as Johnson gets it. And they spin it along the boards. Shearer cuts it off in the near corner. As Grizzlies skating from left to right, get the puck as they'll carry it out to neutral ice. Grizzlies cross center, and Mayhew tried to drive it in, but it bounced off a Steelhead and goes back towards Utah blue line. Fitz gets over towards Martell, who's skating the other way. Now Kyle Mayhew gets it. Halfway through Utah's power play, we're tied at 1 as Mayhew glides it towards the near side for Martell across the center ice. Martell chips it towards his left. Idaho gets it and clears it out. As Miner behind his net takes it. As unfortunately, it looks like the power play a little discombobulated as Utah makes a line change. As Shearer gets to Luke Martin as he's out there with Cutler as Martin skates down the middle. And he'll drop it off. Nobody was home. Now there is Pfizer. He'll throw it to the left side. Grizzlies enter the zone. So wrap it around the boards, goes towards Jamison and past him. As Wright over towards the corner. Now Martin gets it up top. He'll glide it towards his left. Left circle, lefty shot. Saved by Shield. As Cameron Wright tripped up Idaho. No call on the play. As the fans want a penalty. As Kawaguchi gets taken away by Cutler. As he'll enter the zone, but the Grizzlies are called for offside. 12 seconds left in the Idaho power play. As Haskinen yelling at John Lindner, the referee, as he thought Cameron Wright tripped him up. Wright skates over there and says, just play hockey. Although it looked like the Grizzlies might have gotten away with one there.
Well, I mean, some calls go one way, some calls go the other way. In this case, the Grizzlies maybe just, get away with one there. But
they got the call, though. You can say the Grizzlies got away with one there.
But, I mean, you got to think about the response from the Grizzlies. Okay, so you let that shorthanded goal go into the back of the net. The game is tied now at 1. What's the response here from the Grizzlies going to be? They need to find a way to get that momentum back and attack this thing with energy.
10:53 left in the third. It's anybody's game. It's the Grizzlies 1 and the Steelheads 1. Draws at neutral ice. It's won by the Grizzlies. Connor McDonald near Utah's bench will skate back into his own zone. He'll feed it across, and that's Corey Thomas. Now Kyle Pouncey will move it ahead. It goes past Tyler Penner. Penner gets it, trying to chip it out in front to Messner. Goes back towards Pouncey. He'll throw it to the point. Nobody home as the Steelheads are back at full strength as A.J. White towards the left side centers it. Idaho gets it poked away. It goes back towards White. White gets it up top for Johnson. Johnson, the left point, spins it along the boards. This goes back to Utah's Pfizer, glides it towards the far side. Idaho cuts it off in the right point. Nearham will kick it across, and it looks like glanced off the stick and flies out of play, probably into the concourse or somewhere around row 7. A fan holds up a puck as he comes away with a souvenir. Guy sporting a sweet-looking beard. That looks like Colton Sossaman's type of beard. As looks like there's some Grizzlies fans in attendance. Looks like they're all having a good time. Looks like a lot of fans are sporting their playoff beards as well. Draw's going to be in the near side. Ty Pelton-Bice will take it for Idaho. 10:15 left in the third. Can't tell who that is for the Grizzlies. That's Cameron Wright. Draw won by Wright in the Grizzlies as Utah along the near side gets over to Wright, who will chip it to center ice. As Utah gets over to Martell, the Rooster, far circle, backhand shot, saved by Schill. But a good move after Wright won the faceoff as Grizzlies had a scoring chance as Nolan Ritchie was skating down the middle and Martell to the left side, who took a shot that Schill made the save on the far side. But that forward line, if Ryan Kanasowicz doesn't break up that three-man unit, it's got a lot of potential, right? Martell and Nolan Ritchie.
I like the way Ritchie's played in this game, Tyson. I think he complements Cameron Wright really well. That's another faceoff win for Cameron. He's done a really good job ever since taking over that center role when Sekos went out.
This time Idaho wins the draw, but Martell skates towards the corner and gets it. He'll feed it from one corner to the other for Ritchie. Ritchie in the corner gets it. He'll get it to right side. Right with a shot, and it's blocked by Idaho's stick as it goes back towards Ritchie in the left point. Ritchie gets it to right. Back up top to the left point. Grizzlies think that Shearer fires towards the net. It gets kicked away by Idaho's stick. It goes back to the far side. Grizzlies still in the attack zone as Ritchie gets hit. Now the puck glides towards the slot. Idaho will clear it out to center. Steelheads with the puck as Ducharme will bouncing off the Steelhead. Grizzlies get it as the Rooster crosses center ice. 2-on-3. Rooster to the right circle. Take a righty shot. Saved by Schill. And he holds on, but the Rooster with another good look, this time from the right side. But Schill makes the save. 9:23 left in the third. Time out of the ice. We're tied at 1 as A.J. White scored shorthanded, unassisted. And we'll come back and find out how this one ends when we come back in 1 minute on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
If you're out driving and something happens to your car, truck, or even wheelchair, and you end up stuck at a rail crossing, it's going to be okay. Don't panic. Here's what you do. Get out if you can, and look for this blue sign on the metal pole. Call the number on the blue sign, and when they answer, tell them the crossing number. The number is right here. This tells them the exact location of the crossing. This is the fastest way to get trains stopped before coming through the crossing. Look for the blue. It helps you.
I live for my next goal. Whether it's another pick six or another step forward in life, I wouldn't be who I am without the drive to reach it. And I wouldn't be where I am without my team. Everyone on and off the field who supports me and believes in my dreams as much as I do. Whatever your goals are, surround yourself with people who are going to help you reach toward them. Like my friends at America First, and see where life takes you.
We're tied at 1 between the Grizzlies and the Steelheads. Both goals scored unassisted. Jordan Martell, 10:40 into the first, and then A.J. White gets an unassisted goal, 7:33 into the third. Idaho wins the draw. They skate from right to left in the third period. They'll get it out to center ice. Steelheads cross center and dump it in as Luke Martin chases after it in his second game back in his second stint with the Grizzlies. As Idaho to the left side, Zane Franklin skates towards the corner. He gets cut off by Penner. As Franklin feeds to the corner, taken by Martin, who loses it. Zach Walker centers it, and it's picked off by Utah. As Cutler gets it back towards Martin as we're skating 5-on-5. Pfizer will nudge it out to neutralize as Pfizer and Franklin go down. Franklin gets back to his feet. He gets the puck. He's near Utah's bench, and he'll tap it deep in the Grizzlies zone as Luke Martin gets it from Trent Miner. As Martin scored a big goal with 1:10 left in regulation on Wednesday, he'll move it ahead. Grizzlies left wing cross center. Grizzlies skate towards their right. Jamison, righty shot, saved by Shield. As Jamison probably could have gotten a little bit closer towards Shield, but he took the shot from about the high slot, and Shield makes the save with 8:35 left in the third. Good look by Jamison, but Shield is a pretty talented goaltender, and he's had an outstanding year with a .930 save percentage coming into play tonight. Draws give me the right circle of the Steelhead zone. Watch out for Jamison, who's got a point in 7 straight, and it looks like the Roosters had some good looks here in the third period as well. Draw one by the Steelheads as Johnson throws to the far side. As Idaho will lift it in the air, it bounces at neutral ice. Grizzlies will tap it towards their right. As it ricochets off the boards, Idaho gets it and lifts it over the head of everybody, including Connor McDonald. As the rolling puck goes towards Miner, and the only thing the Grizzlies netminder can do is cover it up in front of the crease, as the Steelheads will have an offensive zone draw with 8:20 left in the third.
And it's really important, Tyson. And the Grizzlies have done a really good job of winning faceoffs all throughout the game. But now with the game tied, it's critical that you win faceoffs and you retain possession. You can't have any turnovers. You can't have any loose pucks. You got to have the puck under wraps at all times.
Draws in the near circle as Utah wins the faceoff as McDonald rolls it along the boards, goes back to the far side. Messner gets hit as Idaho to the right point. Becker battling to keep it in. He'll throw it towards the corner. It glides around the net as McDonald will move it out to center ice. It's taken by Fitz, who will throw it to his left. Grizzlies enter the attack zone. Messner left side shot, saved by Shield. Messner gets held up along the boards by Register as Idaho gets tripped up towards the blue line. No call made as the Grizzlies get it. Dylan Fitz will throw it to his right as the official John Lindner is letting him play tonight. As Wright moves out to center ice, it's picked off by Becker. Becker skates towards the right circle. Toe drag shot. It goes wide as it ricochets off the boards. And Miner covers up to the side of his net on the far side. There's 7:40 left in the third period as Utah and Idaho are tied at 1 in what looks to be another outstanding Mountain Division rivalry game. As Miner showing some good reflexes. The one goal was scored on a turnover, and there really wasn't much that the Utah netminder can do about it. All the Grizzlies are hoping for is 2 standings points tonight, and Miner's been outstanding regardless of what happens the rest of this game. Draws on the far side of the Grizzlies zone as Wright will take the draw. Here in the final road game of the regular season for Utah, it's the final home game for Idaho as the puck glides towards the end boards. Utah gets hit. They try to clear it out. Idaho keeps it in. Right side, lefty shot is blocked as the Grizzlies trying to clear it out as Martell gets the puck. So bouncing off the far boards, looking for Cameron Wright, who couldn't reach it. Wright gets it around the net. I centered it out in front, but the only guy there was Patrick Kudla. He'll tap it off the glass, and now the Steelheads will carry it out across center ice. They skate down the middle. Kudla veers off to the right circle. Now fire towards the net. It goes wide as the Steelheads ring it around for Murphy. Wade Murphy being double teamed. He gets the puck. Murphy glides it to the right side. Idaho drops it off as the Steelheads skate towards the far goal line. Shot saved by Miner. Rebound goes back to Idaho as they skate towards the right point. Idaho feeds to the corners. They do a good job of spreading the ice. They look for Murphy, who swings and misses from the left side as Luke Martin will get it towards another skater to the far side. Grizzlies get it out to center as the Rooster crosses center, tried to dump it in. Idaho took it away from him as Idaho back deep in their own zone have the puck. As Cody Heiskanen, who had 2 goals on Wednesday night behind his net, less than 6.5 minutes left in the third period. We're tied at 1 as Heiskanen will chip it towards the near side. Idaho's Nick Canati feeds a pass that's picked off and neutralized by Pfizer. He gets taken away as Idaho at center ice on the far side will move it ahead. Idaho gains the offensive line. Looked like the linesman got in the way as the Grizzlies will cross center. Play's been kind of choppy here in the third period as Utah dumps it in from the left wing. As Idaho spins along the boards, it gets cut off in the near corner. Idaho gets it. They'll lift it out to center. Zach Walker gets around a skater. He crosses center ice from the right wing, and he dumps it on in as it bounces off the end boards and ricochets all the way out towards center ice. Canati dumps it back in. Taken by Corey Thomas, the former Steelhead. He'll get it out to center ice. Now Pfizer skates towards left circle, take a righty shot, and it goes wide as Martin will glide it off the end boards. It goes past Nolan Ritchie in his pro debut as it goes to center ice. Kawaguchi has a glance off his stick as it goes to the center ice logo. Pfizer gathers it and dumps it back in. Jamison chasing after it as we got 5.5 minutes left in the third. It's the Steelheads 1 and the Grizzlies 1. Register with an A on his sweater. Surveys as he's to the right shoulder of Adam Scheel. Now Register will start the attack slowly down the middle. He'll move it ahead to Kawaguchi, who throws a right wing pass that doesn't connect as it ricochets off the boards. Skating after it's Kyle Mayhew as the arm is raised and icing is on the Steelheads. 5:09 left in the third period of what's been an outstanding game so far.
What a great game, Tyson. Really feels like a playoff game. And for the Grizzlies, I think this is the biggest moment of the season so far. You're tied 1-1 with the Steelheads. Under 6 minutes to go in the third. Can you find a way to get that next goal and escape with a win and come back home? Let's see if the Grizzlies can do it.
It's the 10th and final game at Idaho Central Arena during the regular season. Utah is 3-5-1 on the road in Idaho. Draws in the near circle of the Steelhead zone as Cameron Wright wins it. As Martell nudges back for Mayhew, who feeds it across. I think that's Shearer as it bounces off of Martell's stick and goes towards the end boards. Grizzlies throw it around. Goes back to the right point as Aaron Thoe, right side shot is blocked, and it goes back to Cameron Wright behind Idaho's net right side as Ritchie skates right back towards the far side. He'll chip it up top for Thoe. He moves ahead to right. He takes a shot and it's blocked by Register as the puck towards the slot. Register couldn't clear it out as he'll bounce it off a right. Franklin moves it out to center ice. Grizzlies chase after it, and looks like it's going to be icing on the Steelheads again with 4:35 left in the third. So it's anybody's game tied at 1. Draw's going to be back in the Steelheads zone. At this point, all the little things, all the face-off battles, all the battles along the boards, Everything is certainly going to be an adventure here, and everything's going to be critical in the final 4:35 of regulation. Don't forget that Wednesday's game went to overtime, tied at 2 as Luke Martin scored with 1:10 left in regulation, but Idaho scored 20 seconds into overtime. Penner will take the draw. He's out there along with Cutler and Pfizer as the Steelheads have outshot the Grizzlies 42-24. Idaho has a 14-4 edge in the third period. Penner waiting to take the face-off from the near side, and it's won by Utah. As sure right wing shot saved by Shield, and he'll hold on. This draw was taken by Jade Miller for Idaho. As 4:31 is left in the third, timeout on the ice, and we'll come back and tell you how this one concludes as we're tied at 1 on the Grizzlies Hockey Network.
When you pay with the Nitro card at Maverik, you always save 10 cents or more on fuel every gallon, every day. And you could save a whole lot more thanks to Nitro Best Price. Pick up a Nitro card and upgrade your Adventure Club account today.
We're tied at 1, 4:31 left in the third period. Utah scored first as Jordan Martell scored unassisted 10:40 into the first period. Neither team scored in the second period. A.J. White scored shorthanded, unassisted 7:33 into the third. It's White's 20th of the year. For Martell, he has a goal in 6 straight games. Idaho has outshot Utah 42-24. Utah is 0 for 1 on the power play. Idaho is 0 for 3. Draw is going to be in the near circle. It's Cutler that takes it for Utah, but it's Idaho's Jade Miller that wins it. As puck goes to the far side, Utah swings and misses. Now Idaho gets around a defenseman. They skate towards the right circle. Though recovers as Idaho with a shot that goes wide from the right wing. As Utah along the near boards battles, it goes to Becker. He'll skate towards his right. He'll take a righty shot, and it goes wide as it glances off the glass and glides towards the right point. Idaho gets it across to Cutler, who feeds it back towards the far side. Kawaguchi couldn't reach it. And Utah gets the puck as they're along the far wing. As they get it over towards Shearer, spins it to Luke Martin on the near side. Martin back to Shearer in front of Utah's net. So glide it towards the far wing. It hits off the boards. No icing as both teams make a line change. 3:45 and counting left in the third. We're tied at 1 apiece. As Idaho will throw it to the right wing. Steelheads gain the offensive line. They'll chip it around the wall. Left point, Idaho kicks it back to the near corner. McDonald battles. So Idaho throws it back to Ducharme. He skates down the middle. Lefty shot goes wide. Puck glides towards Haskinen on the right side. He'll roll it back behind Utah's net as White battles with McDonald. Wraparound shot and scores. Wade Murphy finds the back of the net. As it was just a wraparound as he skated towards the near side and got it past Trent Miner. 3:23 left in the third, and the Steelheads have taken a 2-1 lead. Murphy gets his 19th goal of the season, the Victoria, British Columbia native, as he points towards Adam Shield. Wade Murphy certainly come up clutch for the Steelheads all season long, and he gets a clutch goal as White was battling with McDonald. He just glided it towards Murphy behind the net, and the wraparound, kind of a classic wraparound that somehow got past Trent Miner, who was looking more towards the far side. And by the time Miner was able to track the puck, it was too late.
That's a backbreaker, Tyson. That's a tough goal to give up. And for the Grizzlies, you got to find a way to rally and tie it up here.
3:18 and counting left in the third. Utah wins the draw, and they dump it in as Utah needs that tying goal. As Aaron Thoth to the right side centers it, but the only guy there was a Steelhead. Goes back towards Ducharme. He skates towards the left circle. Ducharme gets challenged by Utah. Idaho tries to center it and gets kicked back towards the right side. As now to the far corner, Idaho battles. Ducharme gets pushed. As taking it's Utah. Mayhew glides it ahead to Martell, but it bounced off his stick. Idaho throws it back into the Grizzly zone where it's taken by Thoth. 2:48 and counting left in the third. 2-1 Steelheads. Pass ahead connects. Grizzlies skate towards the left circle. Righty shot goes wide as Ritchie gets hit along the near boards. Idaho gets it to center. 2-on-2. Ducharme skates towards the left circle. Take a lefty shot. Saved by Miner. Rebound out in front. Grizzlies kick it to the far corner. As 2-on-1 battle, Idaho comes out with a puck. Steelheads get to Zach Walker on the left side. Walker glides slowly towards the corner as he's being challenged by Mayhew. Now Walker still at the puck, centers it out in front. Miller, lefty shot, saved by Miner. Miller gets it back and throws it up top for Johnson on the left point. Around to Miller. He's to the right side. Miller now in the right circle will drive it back around as it kicks towards the near corner. Taken by Walker. Time is on Idaho's side. 2:02 and counting left in the third. Idaho leads 2-1. Walker will throw it off the far corner. Taken by Pelton Bice. He's got a point in 7 straight, but he hasn't scored tonight. Idaho to the right side will skate towards the point. They want to play a game of keep away and not let Utah get the puck as Walker throws it. Thought about throwing it back to Johnson. Walker keeps it in the near side. He'll chip it back to the corners. He's battling with Mayhew. Grizzlies clear it out to center. It's taken back by Johnson. 1:35 and counting left in the third. Right wing pass. Idaho skates towards the circle. Shot. Saved by Miner. And Trent holds on. 1:33 is left in the third as Idaho leads 2-1, but it looked like the Steelheads just took about 30 seconds, and they weren't really worried about taking a pass or taking a shot. They just kind of were working the puck around, killing time.
Yeah, I mean, the time you mentioned before is on the Steelheads side, and now with about a minute and a half to go in this game, you got to wonder when Ryan Kanasowicz will consider pulling Trent Miner for that extra skater.
Obviously, the Grizzlies have got to get into Steelheads territory, and that's where Idaho's done a good job keeping it in the Grizzly zone and not letting Trent Miner come off the extra skater. As a draw won by the Grizzlies, as Cutler lifts it out to center ice. Pfizer gets the bouncing puck. Left wing across center. He'll throw it to the corner as Pfizer gets it, and he looks to center it out in front to right. Right gets cut off and knocked down. Martin right wing shot goes wide. Utah's net is empty. As Grizzlies to the left point, get it across to Martin. Can he do it again? Martin scored last night late in the regulation. Over to Cutler. Left wing shot, and it goes wide. He was more from the high slot as whistle blows. 1:09's left in the third. And the puck must have gone out of play, or maybe it was offside on the Grizzlies, and they say the puck exited the zone. The draw is going to come back to neutral ice. 1:09 left in the third. Utah's net is empty as Wade Murphy scored what looks to be the game winner right now from the Idaho perspective. 16:38 in with A.J. White and Cody Haskinen getting the assists. Can the Grizzlies tie it up? There's 1:09 left in the third. Grizzlies tied it up with 1:10 left in regulation on Wednesday night. Going to be Cameron Wright, who leads the league with 8 game-winning goals. As Jamison takes the draw, he wins it. Luke Martin glides it across as the Grizzlies will dump it in from the left wing as it glides towards the right corner. Idaho will tap it off the glass, and they'll lift it over Taryn Pfizer's head. Miner is in net right now as Idaho is called for icing. As there's 53.8 seconds left in regulation, I imagine with the draw being in the Steelhead zone, that Miner will come off and will skate 6-on-5. I also imagine that Ryan Kanasowicz could use his one timeout here. As looked like the referee went to the scores table, and now he's talking with Connor McDonald, as I think he wants to ask where the faceoff's going to be. Looks like it's going to be in the right circle. Miner is off the ice, 55.5 seconds left. Jamison will take the draw for Utah. As the faceoff won by Idaho, as Hedrick skates towards the end boards, and he'll throw it from one corner to the other. Martell cuts it off. Grizzlies look to center to Jamison. Back to Martell, who glides it back up top for Pfizer. Back to Martell. One-timer. And a save by Shield. 43 seconds left in the third. The whistle blows. Draw's going to stay in the Steelhead zone. Well, Utah had a good look for a Martell there on the left side. As they'll show a replay, we'll get a better look of it here. As Pfizer over to Martell, and Shield just kind of made a routine save. Cutler and Jamison were out in front trying to redirect it. As Shield's been outstanding for the Steelheads. He hasn't seen a ton of action over the last 2 periods. As it looks like Ryan Kanasowicz is going to use his one timeout with 43 seconds left. We'll keep it here. It's important for Jamison to win the faceoff like he did the last time. And we'll see if the Grizzlies can find a way to get either Martell on the left side or if maybe they can isolate Martin on the right.
It's do or die for the Grizzlies, Tyson. It starts with winning that faceoff. This isn't necessarily a must-win game for the Grizzlies, but 2 standing points, even 1 standing point would do the Grizzlies wonders. So you're right. Jamison has to win this draw, and then it's just about who do you work the puck to? Who do you try and isolate? And Wednesday night, it was Luke Martin. Look for the Grizzlies to maybe try to work the puck back to him again, or maybe the Grizzlies will try and cycle the puck and try and get that one shot with the Steelheads out of position.
Looks like 5 forwards, 1 defenseman for the Grizzlies. Cameron Wright, Brandon Cutler, Taryn Pfizer, along with Jamison, who's going to take the face-off, and Jordan Martell. And Martin's the 1 defenseman. Doesn't look like Jameson's taking the draw. I can't tell who that is. They might be Cutler. As there's 43 seconds left, draws on the far side. It is Cutler that took the face off, but Idaho wins it. As A.J. White will tap it off the near boards. It goes to center ice. Idaho throws it towards the empty net, and it goes just wide. No icing as Luke Martin over the near side will get it ahead. Pass behind Pfizer as he gets it off the boards. Pfizer skeets towards the right circle. He gets spun around, and Idaho touches it up. A penalty is going to be called. 22 seconds left in the third. As it looked like Cameron Wright was trying to draw a second penalty as Casey Johnson goes to the penalty box as he tripped up Terran Pfizer, who was skating towards the near corner. So it's going to be a 6-on-4 power play for Utah with Utah's net empty as the Grizzlies really need to win the face-off and find an open look on Adam Scheel and the Steelheads. As it was a good call by the referee, John Lindner, as Casey Johnson gets 2 minutes for tripping. There's 22 seconds left in the third. Face-off's going to be in the right circle. Jamison will take it. Draw one by Idaho as Matt Register will tap it off the near boards. As Martin couldn't keep it in. Martin at center ice will throw it across. 14 seconds left. Grizzlies enter the zone from the left side as it's at the point. Grizzlies throw it up top for Martin. He goes past him. Over to the right side. 5 seconds left. Cutler right wing shot. Saved by Scheel. Scheel throws it to the corner. The whistle didn't blow. Grizzlies wanted the whistle to blow, and that will do it. Idaho wins 2-1 as they scored 2 unanswered in the third period as everybody goes to congratulate Adam Scheel. As Grizzlies had the power play for the final 22 seconds of regulation. Cutler had a good look on the right side. He was all alone from the right and just fired a lefty shot. Scheel made the save, and they held on to it for about a second. Then he tossed it to the corner, and the referee didn't blow the whistle. So that did it for regulation as the Steelheads end the home schedule with a record of 32-4, which is a new league record with the 32 victories, as their record goes to 55-10-1-2. The Grizzlies end the road schedule with a record of 16-16-4, and overall the Grizzlies are at the 500 mark with a record of 32-32-4. Guy tough loss considering Utah had a 1-0 lead. They turned the puck over, and Idaho tied it up shorthanded, and then Wade Murphy just kind of caught Miner off guard and fired a wraparound around him and passed the goal line. And Grizzlies had a couple good looks there late in regulation, but just couldn't come away with the victory.
It's a tough loss, Tyson. It's a tough loss because for the most part, the Grizzlies controlled this game. They played a great game defensively. This loss is absolutely not on Trent Miner. He was great all night long, gave the Grizzlies a chance to win. But it's just those little things, just those little minor mistakes. And a team like the Idaho Steelheads, now with 113 points on the season, that's a team that when you make a mistake, they're going to punish you for it. And that's exactly what they did. But for the Grizzlies, it's going to be a quick turnaround. They're going to be here at Maverik Center against these Steelheads tomorrow night.
Well, if the last 2 games are any indication of how tomorrow's going to go, it should be a lot of fun. Get your tickets to UtahGrizzlies.com. As Grizzlies and Steelheads will meet for the 18th and final time in the regular season. And it should be a lot of fun. It'll be Utah fans' first look at Nolan Ritchie, as well as Kyle Mayhew and Mick Messner. And the Grizzlies fans can welcome back Luke Martin, who looked good in the first 2 games of this series over in Boise. Postgame show starts in 30 seconds. Once again, the final score from Idaho Central Arena. It's the Idaho Steelheads 2 and the Utah Grizzlies 1. We're back in 30 seconds on the Grizzlies Hockey Network. Final score from Idaho Central Arena. It's the Steelheads 2 and the Grizzlies 1. Looks like Wade Murphy is the number 1 star of the game as he scored the game winner. 16:38 into the third. A.J. White and Cody Haskinen got the assist as White was in a one-on-one battle behind Utah's net. And it was White and McDonald battling. And White just kind of nudged it to Wade Murphy. And when they showed the replay, it looked like Trent Miner was looking towards his left shoulder. The problem is Wade Murphy was coming in from around the net on Miner's right shoulder, on his right side, and just kind of snuck it past the Utah netminder, and that turned out to be the difference in the game. Utah scored first for the second straight game as Jordan Martell scored 10:40 into the first, as he is the Optim first goal of the game score for the second straight outing. Optim is committed to making healthcare work better, leading the way to better experiences, better health, and lower costs for you. At Optim, they're creating a healthier world, one insight, one connection, and one person at a time. Well, that 1-0 lead held on for quite a while. Both teams had 13 shots in the first period. Idaho outshot Utah 15-7 in the second period, but after one period and after two periods, the Grizzlies held on to a 1-0 lead. It wasn't until Utah got on the power play for the first time. Ryan Domowski got 2 minutes for tripping, 7:18 in. And 15 seconds into Utah's power play, the Grizzlies were jackpotting around in their own zone. Cutler was in the area along with Martin. And somehow a turnover happened out in front of the net. A.J. White gathered it. And it was really, White was probably, I'd say, 5 to 10 feet in front of the crease. And he was just all alone. It was him and Trent Miner. And you get an experienced guy like A.J. White, who scored a ton of goals in this league, that sort of room and that sort of opportunity. He cashed in on it as he scored his 20th of the year as he went over the left shoulder of Trent Miner to tie the game, 7:33 into the third period. And that's really what a team like Idaho does. You make a mistake, and it ends up in the back of your net. And then with the score tied at 1, we mentioned the Wade Murphy game winner, and it was kind of odd. The one-on-one battle, Murphy just kind of skated in, took the puck, and as I was looking at the replay, I did notice that Trent Miner may have had a tough time trying to track the puck as he was looking towards his left shoulder, and Murphy was coming in to the right side. So I think that, and Murphy's a pretty quick player, and I think that half-second hesitation of Miner unsure where the puck was going to be made the difference as Murphy was able to sneak it past Trent Miner, and that turned out to be the game winner. Utah had some good looks late. Brandon Cutler right there with about 5 seconds left in regulation was all alone to the right side. That might have been what Ryan Kanasowicz wanted as he drew up a play when the Grizzlies called timeout with 42 seconds left. And, Cutler had a good look, but Shield made the save, and he kind of held on to it for a little bit. I think Grizzlies fans would have liked to have seen a whistle with about 2 seconds left. And then Shield realized that they weren't blowing the whistle, so he just kind of threw the puck to the corner with his glove. And that was all she wrote as the rest of the time ran out. And just a tough one for the Grizzlies, as it just looked like, that one goal, really when you score one goal, you leave no margin of error. A turnover there in the third period, and then Miner trying to track the puck. That makes a difference in a game. And when you only score 3 goals in 2 games like the Grizzlies did, and you have to tip your hat to Idaho for, a good defensive effort and good goaltending on their side. But, when you only score 3 goals in 2 games, it really leaves you with no margin of error. And Idaho just got enough of those opportunities in the third period, cashed in on 2 of them, and that was the difference in the game.
I think about that final sequence of the game. The Grizzlies go on the power play. They try and move the puck around. First off, Kanasowicz calls his timeout, tries and draws up a play. Grizzlies go out there. They try and cycle the puck around. Cutler takes that final shot, and then Shield holds the puck and, just runs out the time. That's what went down, but really the Grizzlies, that never should have happened. None of it. Absolutely not. Should never have gotten to that point. The Grizzlies were nursing a 1-goal lead for the majority of this game. Had a fantastic first period. Looked great after the first. But in the second and third period, I really thought that the Steelheads were the faster team. And the Steelheads were getting their chances. And it looked like the Steelheads really had a step on the Grizzlies. I look at shots after 2 periods of play, or in the final 2 periods. Utah took 15. Idaho took 34.
Yeah.
This loss isn't on Trent Miner. I mean, he gave the Grizzlies every chance to win this game. And while you look at that second goal by Murphy, maybe Miner was caught off balance. Maybe he just got caught looking the wrong way. Miner gave the Grizzlies a chance to win this game. He did everything he could. So this loss isn't on Trent Miner. I think this loss, while the Grizzlies did play a good game defensively, I look at 47 shots against. That shows me that the Steelheads, for the majority of the second and third periods, were having their way in the Grizzlies zone. Miner did everything he could. You just, at the end of the day, you can only do so much, and something's going to squeak through. And in the Grizzlies, you look at the turnovers.
Yeah.
The power play, and you're right, in a 1-0 game, in a game that's that tight, everything is magnified. It's amplified. I mean, even the slightest mistake is going to cost you. And unfortunately for the Grizzlies, they made that mistake, and Idaho is ready to pounce on it. I mean, what do you want? The power play is just it's tough. It's tough to look at that power play and really just. It looks like on paper it's a good unit. You got so many good playmakers, but I look at the last 3 series. And in every single one of these last 3 series that the Grizzlies have played, they've given up a shorthanded goal. So something's just not working on the power play. You add Luke Barton to the mix. You think that that's going to be the remedy. Time will tell. We've only seen a few power play chances for the Grizzlies over the last few games, so it's really hard to tell. But the Grizzlies need to find a way to get this power play clicking. There's too many playmakers on this power play for it to be giving up shorthanded goals and not scoring goals. So I think that was the shortcomings for the Grizzlies here tonight. But there were a lot of positives. The Grizzlies went toe-to-toe with the best team in the league again, almost found a way to win. But it's just, you're right, those little mistakes, that's what's costing Grizzlies. But I like the effort here tonight.
Yeah, it was a good effort. Neither team had a power play goal. Utah was 0 for 2 on the power play. Well, their second power play was the final 22 seconds of the game, so it wasn't a full 2 minutes. Idaho went 0 for 3, but the Steelheads did get a shorthanded goal, 7:33 into the third period. 4 games left in the regular season, and considering that we could go to timeout and then listen to Jared Youngman's office and hear us call the game, I'm really glad that's the final road game of the regular season. There was a delay that was really out of our control that lasted, a minute from us talking to having to be on the Flow Sports feed. It's one of those things that I'm just very, very happy that it's the 36th and final road game this season, as we just tried to navigate through the remote broadcast. And unfortunately, sometimes things like that just happen. So I'm really happy the final 4 games of the regular season are going to be here at Maverik Center. You can watch live hockey here at Maverik Center tomorrow night against the Steelheads. And it's the 18th and final meeting between these clubs. And for Utah, you're talking about the battle for the Mountain Division playoff spots. Idaho's got the 1 seed clinched. They've got 113 points. In second place is Allen with 71 points. They defeated Savannah tonight. And third place is Wichita. But remember, Wichita only has 2 games left in the regular season. They've got 70 points and an even 500-point percentage. And the Grizzlies are in a 3-way tie for 4th place with Kansas City and Rapid City. The number 1 tiebreaker is regulation wins to determine a playoff spot. The Grizzlies have 27 regulation wins. Kansas City, with the loss tonight, stays with 25, and Rapid City with a win tonight jumps up to 25 points. So Utah, 27 regulation wins. Kansas City and Rapid City each with 25. That could end up making a difference, down the stretch if we end up tied for 4th, those regulation wins. Remember, Utah has 4 games left, 1 against Idaho and 3 against Tulsa, but Tulsa did get a 4-2 victory over Kansas City tonight. So, don't overlook the Oilers, despite the fact they're in last place in the division. They are going to try to play the role of the spoiler here at Maverik Center. And I don't know where else you'd rather be over the next 8 days than here at Maverik Center. 4 games over an 8-day stretch as the Grizzlies look to battle for a playoff spot.
It's a crushing loss, Tyson, and it stinks to have the lead for that long and then end up losing. But the most important thing here about tonight is a few things went the Grizzlies' way. They're still in a playoff position after all this. They still hold on to that 4th seed in the Mountain Division. So the important thing is the Grizzlies still control their own destiny. If you keep winning games, you're gonna be okay. You're gonna be in the playoffs. So you got that 1 against Idaho, and the most important thing is all these games are at Maverik Center. And you're right. I mean, these road broadcasts, these remote broadcasts. I mean, they've had a lot of turbulence. There's been some ups and downs.
Mostly downs.
Mostly downs, but I mean, it's been tough. So I'm looking forward to having live action here at Maverik Center with the Grizz Maniacs in the house. Always a great atmosphere here. So I'm looking forward to that. For the Grizzlies, I mean, everything's going in your favor. I mean, you got the Idaho Steelheads at home. You got the Tulsa Oilers at home, the last place team in the Mountain Division. So everything seems to be in the Grizzlies' favor. But we talked about it earlier. You can't take the Oilers lightly. Those are games that the Grizzlies should win. If they do win them, then they're going to be just fine. But you got to win. You control your own destiny. Win those games, and the Grizzlies are in.
Remember, the two teams the Grizzlies are tied for fourth with. Rapid City has a 3-game series against Idaho over at the Monument. And Kansas City's got 2 games to end the regular season against the Cincinnati Cyclones, who are a very difficult team in the Central Division. The Grizzlies saw them a couple weeks ago. So, on paper, it looks pretty good for the Grizzlies despite the 2 losses against Idaho on the road. But, hey, be part of Grizzmania and come on down to Maverik Center. It's going to be a lot of fun. 6:50 pregame show, 7:10 face-off. But we want to see the Grizzmaniacs here at Maverik Center tomorrow night against the Idaho Steelheads. Let's see if Utah can get a little bit of revenge against the Steelheads tomorrow evening in the final meeting between the clubs in the regular season. It is a potential playoff matchup if Utah ends up as a 4 seed in the Mountain Division. And then the Tulsa Oilers. Next Wednesday is going to be a Bud Light College night with discounted student tickets. That's going to be Wednesday, April 12th. Next Friday is going to be the final AFCU Friday of the regular season, where tickets start just $8 when you pay using your AFCU debit or credit card at the Maverik Center box office. And Saturday, April 15th, is going to be Star Wars night and Fan Appreciation night wrapped up all into one. So you're going to want to get your tickets for that. That should be a great atmosphere. And the Grizzlies, with 4 games left in the regular season, are battling for a playoff position as they try to defend their Mountain Division championship from last year. And I don't think Idaho has that thing clinched up until they win the first 2 playoff rounds. So still a lot of hockey left to be played. And hopefully you'll be part of Grizzmania tomorrow night as the Grizzlies take on the Idaho Steelheads. Guy, any final thoughts here on the final road game of the season?
There's no place like home, Tyson, and I'm glad the Grizzlies are coming home. I can't wait to be back to live action at Maverik Center with the Grizzmaniacs in the house. And if you haven't already gotten your tickets, head on over to UtahGrizzlies.com. Book your tickets. Be here. Be a part of history as the Grizzlies look to chase a playoff spot. And you're right. Defend that Mountain Division title, because until Idaho wins 2 playoff series, I don't know. They're not the Mountain Division champions. Yep. You got to earn it. And so come down here. Check it out. We'll be here as well. And it's going to be a lot of fun. But first, the Grizzlies need to take care of business against the Idaho Steelheads. Tomorrow night, I think it's going to be a close battle. I think the Grizzlies come out on top this time.
I like the optimism. Come say hi to Guy and I as we're sitting high atop section 114 for tomorrow night's battle. 3 stars of the game, Adam Schill, the Idaho goaltender, stopped 27 of 28. Second star is A.J. White, who had 1 goal and 1 assist. And the number 1 star is Wade Murphy, who scored the game winner, 16:38 into the third period. But give an honorable mention to the Rooster, Jordan Martell, who scored Utah's lone goal, 10:40 into the first period. It was unassisted, as he now has a goal in 6 straight games. Tomorrow's also going to be fun, as it's the home debut for Kyle Mayhew, as well as Mick Messner and Nolan Ritchie. All 3 of those guys looked impressive in the 2 games in Idaho. Messner and Mayhew looked good in 2 games, and Ritchie made his professional debut tonight, the former Brandon Wheat Kings captain. And it's also a welcome back for Luke Martin, who was a key piece to the division title team last season. And Martin had a goal on Wednesday night, and we'll see him in action wearing number 44 for the Grizzlies tomorrow night. Get your tickets at UtahGrizzlies.com or call 801-988-8000. Want to thank everybody who stuck with us through these road games. Unfortunately, sometimes the picture doesn't necessarily tell the whole story. And really what I've learned in calling hockey is that anticipating where the puck's going to be and seeing the entire ice ends up helping me out quite a bit. And so at times it was really difficult to do it. So I kind of had to play catch up the whole night. And it's been really difficult through all these road games. Want to thank everybody for sticking with us. And hopefully we'll be able to, tonight was one example of where if you're watching on Flow Sports, our audio is probably a good minute off, which is very disappointing, but it just is what it is. We're just trying to do the best we can with what we have and have a little bit of fun along the way. Final score over from Idaho Central Arena. It's the Steelheads 2 and the Grizzlies 1. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast and not necessarily the final outcome. Once again, in 2 hours and 25 minutes and in front of a sellout crowd of 5,196 over at Idaho Central Arena, the Steelheads win 2-1. Jordan Martell at Utah's lone goal. He's now got a goal in 6 straight games. Hope to see everybody over at Maverik Center tomorrow night for the regular season finale between the Grizzlies and Steelheads, as Utah's got 4 games left in the regular season, and all of them will be here at Maverik Center. For Guy Chiarenza, I'm Tyson Whiting, and it is what it is.